With your headlines at just gone 10 a.m, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. We're told Raul Jimenez's first World Cup goal for Mexico means he's finally over that life-threatening head injury.
When scoring that second goal, the stadium went whole crazy. It was a mesmerizing atmosphere.
Mexican journalist Lalo Lopez said Jimenez had been heavily criticised for previous poor performances. Jimenez scored Mexico's second as they beat South Africa. Meanwhile, Czech Republic coach Miroslav Kubek admits his team were outplayed by a really fast Korean side. They came back to beat the Czechs 2-1, but banks of empty seats in Guadalajara have made people question FIFA's announcement the game was a near sellout. Tonight, co-host Canada meet Bosnia live on talkSPORT from 7 p.m. Scotland fans, there's a warning not to underestimate Haiti.
They've got Isidore. They've got Bellegarde from Wolves. Played Premier League level, you know. These are very good players. This ain't going to be as easy as we think it's going to be from the outside. Definitely not in that camp. Steve will not be saying that. Oh, by the way, this is 3 points.
Former Scotland midfielder Charlie Adams says the Heat will count against the Scots in their opener. Jude Bellingham says everyone's got to feel loved when playing for their country. He's told England's Lions Den podcast the squad didn't connect well at the last Euros. Whatever the camp's like this time, Neil Warnock thinks Bellingham will boss it again this summer.
Cream always rises to the top. Anderson with him and Rice, I think, I know Morgan is done really well, but I just think Bellingham's going to be our man.
And a sad-looking Ben Stokes has been seen out in public for the first time since he was dropped by England. Director Rob Key is considering a total booze ban for players before the second test with New Zealand next week. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The Prime Minister's under pressure for not speeding up promises to invest more in defence, and 1 million young people will be offered a meningitis B vaccine in England and Scotland. Emma has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. The tyre transfer window is hotting up and we've signed a multi-generational talent with Continental Tyres. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
In the south, cloudy with patchy drizzle, sunny spells emerging in the north, showers across northwest Scotland, feeling humid in the south, fresher further north.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is how to win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 1 o'clock here on talkSPORT, back in our new earlier time slot for the duration of the World Cup. So Andy, what's coming up on day 2 of the tournament?
Well, coming up on the next, the next 3 hours, that's a good start.
Great, isn't it? First things he said, coming up after the next 3 hours.
It will be another show.
Yeah.
But in this show, we'll drop in, that was good, wasn't it? We'll drop in on the Scotland camp ahead of the opening game with Haiti this weekend. We'll check in with the Brazilians on the eve of their tricky match with Morocco. And we'll chat to the Fulham supporting England fan who photobombed one of Maradona's most iconic moments.
We also want to know how you're rejigging your schedule for the World Cup. Schedule. I might have it as well. It's a bit early, isn't it?
It is.
Let's start again, shall we? Our first Creature of the Night reports on the 3 a.m. kickoff between Czechia and South Korea. And we're joined by the author of a new biography, the former England manager, Terry Venables.
There's all this, plus we'll see if co-host Canada are getting excited as their tournament gets underway tonight. Tinsel the Predictive Turkey will once again go head-to-head with the listener. And we'll even squeeze in a Clips of the Week World Cup special.
And after that masterclass in reading out loud, it is 4 minutes past 10. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's like that's going to happen a lot, isn't it?
It happened.
I felt like the teacher.
We did that in Russia.
Good morning, Mr. Jacobs. Good morning, everyone. We now got to sing All Things Bright and Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I watched the opening ceremony. I expect you did too.
Yeah, I certainly did, Andy.
It was a bit underwhelming, wasn't it, really?
Well, the problem was we didn't know what was going on. Back in the old days, and so when we were working on fantasy football, we watched a lot of old opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
John Champion did do a kind of commentary for the second one. But
the second bit, yeah.
The first one they cut to at 6:30. It was just a succession of people that you didn't know coming on.
I know, there were no
I mean, you were forced. I've got the kind of there's the great Mexican sort of Mayan tradition. They all came out with their headdresses on, didn't they? No, thankfully, no human sacrifices. That might have been pushing the old Mayan thing a bit.
I spotted a singer in red shirt and green trousers who looked like he'd been dressed by Michael Portillo.
Yes, it could be. Some nice silver and gold shiny outfits. And then my missus pointed out that a guy looked like Gary Bloke from Private Eye, who was the old Mexican rock singer. He was like Mexican David Coverdale, Mexican David Cover version. But the crowd knew all the words. Well, so it must have been sort of their version of...
and the mascot.
Smoke on the Water. They all knew it.
The mascots. I was thinking, are the Teletubbies suing the World Cup mascots?
Yeah. I don't think they were the actual... Were they the mascots, or were they just some sort of knockabout Mexican
they were making
characters?
Sort of Teletubby style. They would look like Teletubbies, and they're making that sort of noise. But
then we had Mexican Bieber. He came out. I don't know who he was.
Mexican Bieber.
Then we had Mexican Olivia Rodrigo, who then joined a kind of Mexican Phoenix Night like mariachi band. Then we had a cardboard car, which they'd spent no money on.
No.
And then some rappers came out who we didn't know.
Tremendous.
Then Shakira came out. She looked quite smooth of face.
I know.
Have you noticed
was she wearing yellow washing up rubber gloves? I didn't get that.
I think it was the kind of maybe she had some washing up. Maybe she's got a little side hustle. And then Burna Boy joined her, of course.
Yes, I'm not sure.
And I looked into Burna Boy, how he got his name. Do you know this?
No, how?
Because he owned a chain of Cala gas heater outlets in West Yorkshire.
No,
I think you'll find this. And then
I nearly fell for that.
And then we had the second opening ceremony, which thankfully John Champion
Googling it, Burna Boy, West Yorkshire.
Yeah, did tell us. Yeah, he did very well. I mean, he closed them down in the end. It's not the need for Cala gas there used to be in that part of the world. So we had the flag parade of nations, and for USA to get booed. There we are.
Good.
Then we had John Champion saying Curaçao is the same size as Chelmsford.
Yeah, it was good to know.
And I thought, don't be giving Infantino ideas, because if there's votes to get, you let Chelmsford be in the next World Cup. He takes it up to 128 teams.
Andrea Bocelli, who was there.
He came out with auto-tune lady. I don't know who she was, but she was leaning quite heavily on the auto-tune.
Well, his mic sounded like... He sounded like the bloke that used to sing Winchester Cathedral. I said you could hardly him.
Was he a bit Frank Sidebottom?
I think he was, actually. He used to pop up on my Instagram feed.
Yeah. The Teletubbies were actually called Labardoo dolls. All the kids. Labubu dolls.
Labubu, yeah. I know what they are. My granddaughter loves them.
Thank you, Ryan.
So Labubu party. I should have known that, really.
Well, you're going to have to fill in the gaps because we are old, but you know about.
No, I should have known that, really.
Okay.
But Andrea used to pop up on my Instagram feed. He's virtually having a steak at Salt Bay's restaurant every day. I don't know why. He certainly loves a steak there, but that didn't seem to affect his voice.
Did you notice the fans? We're going to come back to the fans a little bit later on and what they did with the anthem, and we'll play you a bit of that in case you missed it. But just before kickoff, all the Mexican fans threw sombreros, the ones Adam threw them into the air. Well, no way.
I would have done, but mine were 15 quid.
Yeah, they're a bit like a frisbee. So once they took off, there was no way you were going to get. Hey, mate, can you pass me hat back? So I take it they were freebies they were given on the way in.
They must have been, mustn't they? I'll tell you what I did notice, though, on a slightly more serious level.
Okay.
That FIFA have really embossed themselves on this tournament, on the World Cup. It's now...
Well, it's their tournament.
Well, yeah, but look, compare them to the IOC. The IOC, just as big as FIFA, when they have the Olympics, it's the London Olympics or the Los Angeles Olympics. It isn't the IOC Olympics.
No.
It never is. And that is a prime difference. It always used to be the World Cup.
This is Infantino's ego, isn't it?
And when he held the cup, honestly, you just started brandishing it like he'd won it. You think, really, mate?
Salma Hayek should have just given him a right-hander. That would have been great. Just a little dig in the solar plexus, just as he lifted it up. So he dropped it on his foot. That would have been great.
I did like the shot of the VAR crew pre-match.
Yeah.
They looked like it was made by Madame Tussauds. It was like one of them was actually...
Like a tableau.
Yeah, one of them was fiddling his pen. Otherwise, it would just look like a still.
Just a still,
really weird.
Maybe they are all waxworks. Although they got involved quite a lot last night, but we'll come back to that a little bit later on. England had a behind closed doors friendly.
Oh yeah,
it's not had a lot of coverage, but I've got some inside.
Tell me what happened.
Knowledge. Well, it's courtesy of the Telegraph actually.
All right, okay.
They played against Miami United, and I looked at their website yesterday. They call themselves the oldest football team in Miami.
Oh, okay. Well,
and then they said all this great heritage, great tradition. And then I looked at it and it said, founded in 2012.
Tremendous. Well, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you have got to start somewhere. Engamoa scored. I mean, they keep playing him in these games, and he keeps scoring, but he's going to get nowhere near the squad. No. Apparently, it was 2 25-minute halves, and England won heavily, which... Phil, do you know, like in kids' football, if it's like a 15-0, they never publish it.
Yeah, I think it probably was.
So I'm taking it like, he didn't want to upset Miami United, a club with a great tradition.
That's very interesting, though.
And who else scored goals? Ivan Toney was on the score sheet. That was good news. And what else? Everybody came through. There's no injuries.
I think that's the thing about Ngamoa. If there is an injury anywhere in the squad, I think he'd bring him in rather than a like-for-like replacement. I think he probably quite wishes he was there. Yeah. Because he does give you something that...
Chance to nobble someone in training. He's not that kind of lad.
No, of course not.
So one of the things we want to know about today is, are you rejigging your schedule? Cara was reading the news with us yesterday. She said, I think she said her uncle takes a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
And every World Cup, he takes a couple of weeks off work and he just immerses himself. Doesn't matter what time the games kick off, he's there. So he just feels he wants to get through that first stage.
Great tradition.
So have you rejigged the schedule? Is there stuff you've dipped out on? Have you told a few porky pies because you know there's a game on at a certain point? It looks like if it goes to, I mean, I'll be there, but I'll probably be at a wedding on the night of the quarter final.
Oh, really?
And it's a wedding, I think, attended by potentially lots and lots of football fans. So
that's a bit unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah. But anyway, these are the sort of things happening and clashes. So are you rejigging the schedule and what you're trying to get out of? I'm not getting out of that, I'd like to point out. I'll be there. In case anybody's listening. I knew who most of the singers were. My wife is Colombian, so we absolutely loved it.
Oh, well, good.
3 of the singers were Colombian. Shakira, we were with you on that one. Who else? J Balvin. Do you know J Balvin?
No, not really.
And Ryan Castro. No, me neither.
No.
But that's good. It's good that the Colombian contingent would have enjoyed that.
Yep, good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ryan Castro, he had a cigar on, I know.
Yeah, Ryan Castro, he did have a cigar on.
The South African keeper, Ronwyn Williams, he really does sound like a Welsh rugby player.
Wasn't it?
Barry John to Ronwyn Williams.
He would have enjoyed Day Day, wouldn't he, when they sang that, the official song, a very Welsh song. So tell us if you're rejigging the schedule. 03717 223344, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. If you want to comment on anything you've seen so far, whether it's the slightly officious refereeing, although you could make a case for all 3 of them. Really?
No, I thought so. You were right about the ref's English wasn't great, was it?
Yeah, that was the thing.
He's from Brazil, I suppose.
It wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it was quite difficult. When they're doing the announcements, it's going to come down to the quality. So when he did that announcement,
I couldn't understand any of it other than the words "red card."
Yeah, I think I got that bit.
There. I'll tell you the other thing as well. You know this new substitution rule? It's 10 seconds. It's a good rule. But
is it enough time, 10 seconds?
Well, I'll tell you what it does do. It takes away that great moment. Say Mbappe scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
They're 4-0 up.
And there's a minute left.
And he wants to come off and take the applause of the crowd as he comes off. Well, that you won't be able to, because if he does that...
Well, you kind of saw it with Raul Jimenez when he went off. The Mexican crowd wanted to salute him.
So you kind of lose that, which is a shame, really. But...
More on him a bit later. 03717 223344. Comment on anything you've seen so far, whether it was the games last night. If you didn't catch the 3 a.m. kickoff, South Korea,
I missed it.
Czechia. Thankfully, our creatures of the night kicked into action overnight for us.
Did.
Comedian and Watford fan Dee Allen, who was with us last week, kindly said, she left the studio, I'll do that one for you. I'll do the first game. We've got a little army. We want more of them. We'll play you the little section later on and kind of re-see it through Dee's eyes. And you can join our growing army. If you're a bit of a nocturnal beast, then you could be one of our creatures of the night for this World Cup. Tim Vickery is going to join us. Brazil get underway tomorrow night at 11 o'crock against Morocco. I
find somebody to watch Canada versus Bosnia on my behalf.
Yeah, that's 8 o'clock. You've got
I don't
no
care.
excuse.
I really don't want to watch it.
Ross McCormack is going to join us, talk a bit of Scotland next. Of course, they get underway early hours of Monday morning. We'll have a Clips of the Week World Cup special for you. We've raided the archive. And we will speak to... the Fulham and England fan who went on a bit of a road trip in '86 and managed to photobomb one of Diego Maradona's most iconic moments. Plus, Tim Rich to talk about his new biography of the late, great Terry Venables, a man who never got to a World Cup for England but gave us a very memorable Euros. Shaban in the Scotland camp. Crookie out in Dallas, who's bought himself a cowboy hat. All right.
Yeah.
When I mentioned that he bought a cowboy hat...
Stetson.
Yeah, you said
Henrik Stetson.
I gave you Kevin 10-gallon hat.
I had Brian Deerstalker.
Okay, so it's Friday, so you can bring in games. Let's have your hat-based sports stars. I mean, I know you tend to enjoy... That's very Charlie Baker, that. But if you want to, go on, do your worst. talkSPORT.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. El Nino is heading for the States. It's Godzilla El Nino, which is a weather front, which is quite worrying. So we're going to head back to Fox Weather. Stephen Morgan over in New York.
He's got his graphics today. I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah, he'll have all the graphics. It'll be, oh yeah. And we're in the Canada camp. We've got loads to come today, as we said. Want to get in touch this afternoon? 03717 223344. talkSPORT.com. Text 81089. Tweet TSH and J. We are here, of course, with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Locking on back in the UK, of course, and we're right across the lot. We mentioned earlier that Martin O'Neill has been installed at Celtic. Just in the passing, you pleased for him. 1 year deal, Simon.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think Martin, the only person that would have talked him out of that circumstance is Martin. So I think probably Martin would do a 1 with a rolling year.
Yeah.
So that puts him in a situation where he can see how he feels in a year's time. I don't even know why it was a conversation. I don't even know why it was a debate about whether Martin O'Neill should stay in place. I think it's the least they could have offered him. I hope they've remunerated him properly, and I hope that he continues to build on his legacy, because I like him. Now, obviously, I don't know where you sat on it. I think I know where you sat on it. Nobody wanted Celtic to win besides Celtic fans, because we wanted Hearts to win.
Well, that would have been the story, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Celtic story was a great one, too.
Martin did his job.
Yeah.
I mean, he did his job. He went in there and he galvanised Celtic. And so the discussion about whether Martin O'Neill should be given a new contract perplexed me. Besides the fact he kept on telling on how bloody knackered he was.
Actually, Brad Friedel's with us, as he will be here in New York. Brad, whatever happened to Wilfred Nancy? Do we know? He came back here with his tail between his legs, having been a major flop in his short time in charge at Celtic.
I'll tell you, very similar. I came over here and I was the head coach of New England Revolution. I found it very difficult to go from the professionalism of the Premier League this way. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was too stubborn to stay in my own professionalism. I wouldn't adapt to where the level of MLS was.
Steve Nick was there for a while as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was there and then Jay Heaps and then myself.
And Paul Marion as well.
I think what Wilfred did, he adapted to the US culture and he went over there. When you go to a club like Celtic and you hear his first interview, I don't care about the results, it's how we play. No. Results matter, and the fans will actually put up with you playing poorly if you're winning the matches for a certain amount of time. So I think he found that change going to that type of club very, very difficult.
Yeah.
With Martin, I played for Martin for 2 years at Villa. He's the boss. He knows what he's doing. When I first got there, it was the first time I had met him and knew him other than playing against him.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, Paul Hawksbee and Manning. I went
no, what's right, Scotland?
A little tribute to Al Manning. And I'm trying to get in the mood for the Scotland game.
No, that was good.
And of course, we'll have plenty of build up to Scotland's opening game against.
And you are wearing a kilt. It's very nice. You look lovely.
I do look good, don't I?
Yeah. You can't see because it's under the desk.
I'm wearing something under it. No, I'm not in the Scottish. You'll be pleased to know. You don't want a Basic Instinct moment featuring me at any point.
Not really, no.
So where were we? Yes. Now, we did mention before the tournament got underway that some of those 3 a.m. kickoffs, especially if we got early starts and want to do a bit of preparation for the show, would stretch us a bit. Yeah. So I caught some highlights early on. I know you did as well. So I know what happened in the game. But I didn't watch it live. So we asked you to form a little army, a little band of nocturnal beasts. We're calling them, with a nod to our old mate Ian Collins' fine show back in the day on talkSPORT, the H&J Creatures of the Night. And many of you have got in touch. We're looking to build the army, and I'll give you the details of how to maybe join us if you are someone who works overnight or a bit of an insomniac or is planning to watch all the games. But kicking us off, after joining us in the studio last week, was the comedian you're going to catch at the Edinburgh Festival, Dee Allen. She's a Watford fan as well, big Watford fan. And she was leaving the studio. She said, she said, I'll watch South Korea, Czechia for you. So I said, okay.
Anything to promote a show in Edinburgh, let's be honest.
Dee, it's a date, we said. So here we go. Our first Creatures of the Night, somebody who stayed up watching live, South Korea versus the Czech Republic.
Here we go. South Korea versus Czechia. We've got Son Heung-min, we've got Lee Kang-in, we've got Kim Min-jae, we've got another 7 guys who I presume are also professional footballers. And then Czechia, Thomas Souček, Patrick Schick. It's the kind of game, I can't believe that they've scheduled this for 3 a.m. I mean, this is just, what more could you possibly want of a World Cup? The commentator has just said that the Czech Republic are just happy to be here, which is not true of anyone else watching at 3 a.m, I think, myself included. The game has been quite bad. No one's really done anything. There haven't really been any chances. We've reached the first hydration break. A few thoughts. Firstly, I love the World Cup. I mean, in what other tournament does Lee Kang-in, who is PSG's 8th best winger, get to spend 20 minutes looking like prime Maradona? We've just nearly had a goal. Heung-min Son through on goal, tight angle, tries to sort of dink it over the keeper, doesn't work. I wasn't planning on sending these kind of summaries for not even a goal, but that's the kind of game we've got on our hands. Okay, half-time, the crowd booed quite loudly. I don't think it's because they wanted there to be more football. I think it's because they were upset. Yeah, it's been pretty poor. I remember when I was younger, I would stay up with my family, like way past my bedtime, to watch England play in the World Cup or in the Euros, and it always felt really exciting. The game isn't very interesting, and I wish I were asleep. I don't believe it. We've had a goal, and it's the Czech Republic. South Korea have been so much better, the better team. And then I think the Czech Republic just remembered that they're all about a foot taller than the South Koreans. So they crossed the ball in, and he could head it into the goal really easily. I promise that if I had had more sleep, I would have a better tactical analysis than that, but that is the best I can do. It's 1-1. Hwang, beautiful finish. Just a little dink over the keeper. You think the defender might get there to chase it back, but he doesn't manage it. It's suddenly quite exciting. 2-1 Czech Republic, Thomas Souček. Oh, no, it's offside. It's offside. There's going to be a VAR. It's finished immediately. He's just offside. Gru could not be more dissatisfied, bless him. It's 2-1 South Korea, 2 minutes after the disallowed goal. I don't know who scored. What a game! The first half was so bad, but it's all turned around. Good things come to those who wait, you know what I mean? So close to 2-2. What a save. My goodness. This is the best game I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Best game of the World Cup. I know it's only the second game. There's nothing that can top this. Game over. 2-1 South Korea. Great game. Oh, they can't believe it. Do I regret staying up? Yes, I do. It fundamentally wasn't worth it. But I don't know if there is a but. I think I regret this. Until next time.
Thank you, D.
Hey, that was excellent.
I mean,
really good.
It strikes me that you're quite low key at 3 in the morning because
Well,
you're
yes.
sleep deprived. So
Very
that's-
much so, yeah.
So it's going to be a bit like Tom Waits, sitting, in the Ali McCoy stroll
It was
alongside
hard to
John
get too
Chambers.
excited about the goals, but I thought she did really well, actually.
You can
Very
see
amusing.
Dee at upstairs at the Pleasance Courtyard with a Thomas Muller-inspired show, Ramdeuter, going to be at the Edinburgh Festival. So thanks for Dee. So she's kicked us off as our first creature of the
Yes.
night. So that's
a
everything.
perfect way of doing it, like little bits around what incidents in the match.
And if you want to sit there, because at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, you do start to pontificate a bit. There she was taking us back to her childhood, staying up late. Any of those little bits of
lovely
bits of fluff you want to add in there, we'll take all those. But if you want to be one of our creatures of the night, you can call now 03717 223344. If you are planning to watch a lot of those sort of early hours kickoffs, or you work nights, or you'll be in a position to watch one of those games overnight, so we and many of the talkSPORT listeners don't have to. 03717 223344. You can have a chat with our producer. I'll take your details, and as the tournament unfolds, you could be one of our many H&J creatures of the night. But for now, thank you very much to Dee for doing that one.
Jolly good stuff. Interestingly, in that game, we talked quite a bit and before the matches about what the break would do.
Yes.
And I noticed last night that it was quite exciting in the first game. And they took a break at 24 minutes, came back on the 27th. There was nothing happened for 13 minutes. The game went
after the break
went into a complete lull until about on 40th minute, Mexico started attacking again. I think we're going to see that quite a lot. It was almost like the match was starting again. It was, it is difficult.
We're going to see a kind of mix of that, or we're going to see teams suddenly getting on the front. Like I said to you, Costa Rica, after one of them, suddenly had a little burst of speed against England, albeit only for about 2 or 3 minutes. But it does kind of change the dynamic.
It does. It affects the flow of the game. But anyway, that's what we're with. We'll have to live with it.
Yeah, indeed. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Just a reminder, if you want to be a creature of the night, you want to get in touch on anything this afternoon and the games you saw last night, what about the refereeing? What does that tell us? We will be talking refereeing, I think, once we've had a few more games under our belt. We hope Scotland aren't sawn off. But we did see 3 red cards last night, which feels pretty excessive. As we said, you could probably make a case for all of them. So 03717 223344, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. Are you rejigging your schedule to make sure you can watch lots and lots of World Cup games? And hat-based sports stars, drummer to the stars, Craig Blundell's been in touch with Beret Groves. There we are.
Very good.
That's the standards. Thank you, Craig. So lots more to come. Tim Vickery's going to join us very shortly. We're going to talk Brazil. They take on Morocco tomorrow night. We've picked up some pretty key injuries, Morocco. What's the mood in the Brazil camp? What's the mood in Brazil? We'll be in Rio with Tim in a few moments' time.
I thought that the 21 players today were absolutely brilliant. How all played well. The only person I didn't think contributed very much down the right was James. I was very disappointed with him. He didn't really support the winger, and that was a concern, not like the left-hand side, which was absolutely brilliant. But one other point I just want to bring up, we made 11 substitutes. You can't do that in the World Cup, I'm afraid. We're going to have to keep some of the players on, and as long as the back four keep okay, we'll be able to make the other 5 substitutes at the business end.
Yeah, I mean, it's a friendly, and that was used as that. He'd done something.
Just minutes, get the boys minutes under the belt.
They've got
in these conditions.
They've got an hour's football tomorrow. Another friendly. He'll probably change things around. There's a number of players that came on 71 minutes. Have highlighted those. I think today's exercise, or last night's it was, I think it ticked all the boxes, Gemma.
It's put us in a great position. I think we're in the best position to be, finally trying to bring this home. I think the players all look up for it. The cohesion, the style is what we've been crying out for.
Yeah.
That aggressive front foot, punishing teams, attacking football because we've got the players to do it. Not being afraid of anyone. And I think that's the style we've all been crying for. And we're finally seeing it.
Yeah. Who starts centre half for you, Cole?
Oh, Stones and Gay, without a doubt. And I put Concert out on the right, or bring in Spence and put him on the right.
Yeah, not dropping Reece James.
We're told Raul Jimenez's first World Cup goal means he's finally over that near-fatal head injury. Here's Mexican journalist Lalo Lopez.
It was a really big moment for the fans, for himself, because he has been struggling over the past 3 World Cups. He was a substitute. He was very criticized because of that.
There were more red cards than goals as 10-man Mexico beat 9-man South Africa 2-0. Also in Group A, have we seen one of the goals of the tournament already?
Hwang In-beom with the equaliser. It's an audacious finish from inside the penalty area. Pandemonium inside the Czechia penalty box.
That razor-sharp cutback and deft lob started Korea Republic's 2-1 comeback win over the Czechs. FIFA's ticketing price model is back in the spotlight, though. They reported a near full house for the game, but huge banks of empty seats were clearly visible. talkSPORT's World Cup commentary continues with co-host Canada versus Bosnia live tonight from 7 p.m. Scotland fans are sweating on news of Scott McTominay. He's got food poisoning and is travelling away from the squad as a precaution. And Kieran Trippier's move to Wolves is now in jeopardy over their sacking of Rob Edwards. Trippier is said to be furious and is exploring his legal position. More at talksport.com.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yes, listen up. The FIFA World Cup has officially kicked off and we're sending you and a mate straight to New York to see England live with Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier. So we're talking a trip to watch England face Panama. You'll get return flights, hotel, match tickets, spending money, all taken care of. Plus Adidas is throwing in the official try-on the match ball and a fresh pair of boots too. So if you're ready to get that winning feeling, here's how to enter, but hurry because entries close today.
For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries. Costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. today. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. It's a TalkSport promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 right now. Good luck. I don't know why Pugas was wearing pyjamas.
We've just seen some footage of 3 Gareth Southgate lookalikes getting together.
I know.
On TV.
You made a good point.
All with the waistcoats. I mean, enough already.
I know.
He's not the manager anymore. Yeah. And it's a bit like wearing your games makers outfits, isn't it?
It's tedious.
I think the problem is they've not found many good Thomas Tuchel lookalikes. I'm just looking at a lookalike agency now, Randy.
What do we got?
Well, I think he looks a bit more like Chris McCausland. If you're looking for a Chris McCausland lookalike,
he's tremendous.
It's not great, is it?
No.
Doesn't particularly look like him, but anyway, you could coin it for this World Cup if you look a bit like him.
Yeah.
Do let us know. Talksport.com, text 1889, tweet to. Just
if you're a bit really like him, if somebody's going to ring.
If you're a bit gaunt and you don't shave for a couple of days,
yeah,
you've got you're balding a
and
bit,
you're receding. Yeah,
you've got a chance. Anyway, let's head off to Rio then.
Yeah.
Sure, the excitement's building. 11 o'clock our time tomorrow night. Brazil get underway. It's like when you hear that anthem, when you see them all walk out holding hands.
No, definitely.
You know the World Cup's properly arrived. Let's see how excited they're getting. Tim Vickery joins us from Rio. Hi, Tim.
Well, yeah, I'm most excited at the moment about the fact that one of my mates is the leading Gareth Southgate lookalike. He's an airline pilot, which is bizarre.
Really?
And he follows. You often see him at the Oval and cricket events and sporting events, leading the chants, dressed like Gareth Southgate. He told me that his income dropped off a great deal when Gareth stepped down. So if he's got a chance now, then please let him take it.
Yeah, I often think that about people who've been lookalikes of people that have maybe died, but if they're legends, you can still do it because people want it. Or people who lose their jobs. Certainly people who maybe lose their status.
People who get cancelled. You
don't want to be a lookalike of someone who gets cancelled.
Anyway, well, do you remember the Barmy?
That work very much dried up for obvious reasons.
Indeed.
Now, Tim, let's move on to the game tomorrow night. What's the mood in the camp?
It's in general in the country, it's a little bit. They're not swaggering in on high heels, thinking we're going to win this one easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously madness, but it's not the full turned up to 11 madness yet. You know, it's probably like 10.5 or something. But you know how it is with Brazil. They can go from we're hopeless, we haven't got a chance, to we're unstoppable, no one can beat us within about 20 seconds. So you know it's not going to take very long for the whole nation to believe that they're going to win. But at the moment, there's a few doubts and uncertainties, and the whole thing is shrouded in mystery. And there's an element of chaos around there as well. In the middle of the chaos, raising a sedate eyebrow, emanating calm,
and of course,
is our man Carlo Ancelotti.
That's what he does.
It's Alisson in his press conference. I'm sure you've heard it. Tim was sort of saying that he has been important. They've kind of given him a little bit of belief back in the camp. I mean, he's such an interesting. We interviewed him, and he is a fascinating bloke. And he wrote a really interesting book on leadership. There is just an aura about Ancelotti, isn't there? His approach is kind of unique.
I mean, his medals on the table situation is amazing.
I mean,
as a player and a manager.
Exactly, and you can't argue it. But there is something about the guy, isn't there, Tim?
Yeah, there really is. He was saying after their last game was Egypt on Saturday, and they haven't really got the best out of Rafinha yet. And he was saying, "There's no way I'm going to tell Rafinha what to do when he's got the ball, or where to. That's up to him. You know, when we haven't got the ball, I'll organise it. But you know, it's his quality, his creativity, and one of the reasons he gets on so well with extremely talented players, and he gets the best out of so many of them, is that he just has an absolute reverence for talent. And the fellow who he writes his books with, Chris Bryant, he told me that the most important thing you have to remember about Ancelotti is that he's a player and he thinks like a player. And he was, and I remember him, I always think that Italy would have had a better chance of winning Italian 90 had he not been injured during the course of the competition. He was a good, solid midfielder. But in his own mind, the team is divided into the talent that tips the balance and those like him who support the talent. And he has a reverence for that talent. That's one of the big reasons, I think, that he's got Neymar in this squad. That kind of reverence for talent that he feels. And the players feel this, the players respond to this. Although, in this case, I'm talking about some of the chaos around it. Some of that is of his making. Because his idea, and I've always wondered, always thought, you know, I'm not sure this is going to work, is with 4 up front and only two in the central midfield, one of whom is the 34-year-old Casemiro. Is this going to work in the heat of the United States? You're going to expect Casemiro to cover so much ground? When they won in USA 94 in extreme heat, the team was tailored to the conditions and they packed midfield. You remember, Paul, you were there for the final. They didn't give a lot of support to the two strikers. It was a possession-based team, but they packed midfield. Very different from this time around. Their first warm-up game which was in the Maracanã against Panama, it really didn't work at all. And Ancelotti came away from that game thinking, yeah, I might have got this wrong. But hang on a minute, we've only got 5 midfielders. So if I'm going to play 3 in midfield, I haven't got a reserve. I've only got 5. And then in the next warm-up game against Egypt, the other one, they lost the attacking right-back, Wesley. So what do? Aha! We correct our midfielder problem. We bring in an extra midfielder. So they brought in Edison, the lad who's just joining United. But it left them without an attacking right back. The only right backs they've got now are defensive ones. And Wesley had become very, very important in terms of opening up the field on the right. So there's a feeling that he's been playing whack-a-mole. Solve that problem. Created another one. So he's getting some flack from. It's the first time he's really had sustained flack from the Brazilian press. Obviously, he's charmed them all in his time here, and he goes out of his way to speak the language. There are Argentine coaches, including the leading Andy Jacobs lookalike, Jorge Sampaoli, makes a living from doing Andy Jacobs.
He does.
He does. He's just got a job, Sampaoli, but so he doesn't have to do it anymore. But they just don't speak Portuguese. They just speak Spanish all the time. And Ancelotti arrives, and on the first day, he's saying, "Next press conference, I'm going to do it in Portuguese." Wow. So he charms them all. And he is so great in his own calm way, but all of that waits until we see the results of the competitive matches in the World Cup. But the vibe we're getting from Ancelotti is group phase is a bit of a phony war, really. Judge me when we get to the knockout phases. All I want to do is get to the knockout phases. Then you can judge me from. So he's being calm even within that. His capacity to bring calm in the middle of chaos is extraordinary.
That's the Italian. Yeah. When you said whack-a-mole, I thought he was a player. I mean, such are the nature of Brazilian names. I thought suddenly it would be a very good name for a Brazilian player, whack-a-mole, wouldn't it?
It's tremendous.
It would.
Let's hope there's some Brazilian parents out there.
I tell you what I want to ask Tim very quickly before he goes. We've always heard that Brazil fans, the Brazilian public, all they're really interested in is Brazil winning. That's the most important thing. What about the other games and the other teams as a World Cup? Is there a big interest in it, or is it only about...
Yes, there is. I mean, I was part of I was thinking midnight, Czech Republic and South Korea. Should I go to bed? Should I go to bed at half time? It was the second half. Those of us who stayed for the second half, boy, were we rewarded. It was great. And it was only on a streaming site. And then there was an audience of like 5 million for it, which is not bad.
Not bad.
Gone midnight. So there are your World Cup fanatics who will watch everything. I sense that all of our patience is going to be tested with this. Reminds me a little bit, gentlemen, of the Olympics. On my first Olympics was 72. And it was still small enough that you kind of followed everything, And then it got so much bigger that all everyone ever does now is just follow their own athletes and a few standout events. And I wonder if now the World Cup will become a little bit more like that. There'll be fewer people who are thinking, blimey, it's Iceland against Costa Rica. I've got to watch that one. Yeah. People will be forced, I think, to pick and choose more because there's just so much of it.
Tim, we will catch up with you after that first group game next week. But for now, enjoy the match. We'll speak to you soon.
Look forward to it. Cheers.
Tim Vickery there over in Rio. And, of course, that game... as are all the games, live on the talkSPORT network. We've got Canada-Bosnia for you this evening. Their big opening ceremony as well. But Nick Ellaby has rejoined us. Nick, some sad news.
Morning, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry to have to report former Wolves, Millwall, Portsmouth manager, among other clubs, Kenny Jackett has passed away, aged just 64. He had 31 caps for Wales, played hundreds of games for Watford, played and managed them as well. So many tributes already coming in. Wolves, who Jackett took to that record-breaking League One title, say thoughts of everyone at the club or with Kenny's family at this time. Millwall as well, extremely saddened to learn that Kenny Jackett has passed away at the age of just 64.
And Swansea, I see, put out a tribute as well. I mean, there was a real band of brothers, that Graham Taylor team, and we've had some of the boys in over the years that played for that side. So that is really sad news. And as you say, Nick, just 64.
Yeah, Watford saying here, Kenny instrumental in some of our greatest successes as a player before serving as a coach and then manager as well. Rest in peace, Kenny.
Nick, thanks very much. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Still lots more to come between now and 1 o'clock. Don't forget, 1 o'clock, we have switched slots with Jim and Simon. They're going to be live from New York for you at 1 o'clock. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
kickoff was delayed even more by what was a monsoon over in the States, Gemma. But let's talk about England's performance. What do you make of it, first and foremost?
Look, they got the job done. End of the day, they're going to come up against a lot tougher test.
Yeah.
I thought they were poor.
Yeah.
They couldn't even string a couple of passes together.
No.
And they obviously England should have really scored more.
Yeah.
You know, and Weke, that should have been a goal. That's a shocker.
I mean,
Rodgers, he should have scored that as well.
Yeah.
And we are a little bit wasteful. I thought we were a bit wasteful, actually, against New Zealand, in all honesty, because they had chances and didn't punish them, only 1-0. But I have to say, I was really impressed with the energy, the fluidity, the movement, that opening 25 minutes. I thought we were good. Costa Rica were bad. I'm not going to take but you still have to put in a performance. We played against bad teams in the past and not put in that kind of performance.
No, like I said, the first 10, 15 minutes, we were on the front foot. We were not giving them a sniff. We was bopping the ball around.
High energy, high tempo, good press.
You know, in this heat as well, good press, winning the ball high, being really cutthroat, but just sometimes not. That little end product at times, we're just lacking.
Yeah.
And I think that will be a worry when we start getting into the latter stage of the tournament, when we come up to teams like Spain and France.
One chance might be all you get. Big chance in the game.
Exactly. And if we can't find that, and if we need, 10 or 15 chances to put one away against the bigger teams who are sturdy, who are better at the back, better at keeping the ball, that could come costly.
Indeed. 03717223344 England.
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Canonias now receives it. Header is in! And Raul Jimenez strikes in Mexico's World Cup. That's the moment many in the Azteca Stadium were craving.
Yes, time now for Duracell's Extra Mile, where we're going to pick players who we think wet in the extra mile. Those players that bring a game-changing performance and unstoppable power. Raul Jimenez, that was a lovely story, wasn't it?
Of course it was, yeah.
It's also an excellent header, because how often do you see players get in those positions, put it straight to the keeper, put it wide? But he had the presence of mind to direct it, stuck it in the corner. It was a really good, typical header from him. And, as everybody has said, it's the backstory of that terrible injury that not just threatened his career, threatened his life.
Absolutely.
Was great to see.
He almost scored early, didn't he, in the game?
Yeah.
Lovely left foot effort, which they said came off his shin. I thought it ran down his shin off his boot.
Yeah, he hit it well. But, so I think we felt that, and that was a lovely moment. He, as you said, Andy, he's only got 10 seconds to get off the pitch, but he was able to milk the applause a bit. And you could see what it meant to him. He was in tears straight after the goal.
Great.
So that was a lovely moment. Also, we want to mention not a player, but the crowd. I mean, it felt fitting, really, that the first game was in the Azteca, such an iconic stadium.
Brilliant stadium.
And the crowd really got up for it. And what I thought was lovely is that the national anthem, when the crowd sang the Mexican national anthem, they did it a cappella. There's no band there. There's no backing track. We're going to give you a little flavour of it now.
All right.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestar y el bridor.
Men, women, and kids all joining in. I think the a cappella way to go is fantastic. It's good. It had a lot more power. It's very moving, actually. So well done to the Mexican fans and the Mexican players getting off to a good start for the tournament.
It weren't very sporting when South Africa had the ball, though. They kept booing every time.
Well, that can often happen in games out there. But that was Duracell's Extra Mile.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
Now, we've just heard the very sad news about Kenny Jackett, former Millwall manager, Watford manager, a legend as a Watford player, part of that brilliant Graham Taylor team. He's only 64 years old. In his time at Millwall, the author Michael Calvin spent a season with a club, and he wrote the book Family, Life, Death and Football, a year on the front line with a proper club. But his connection...
6 years he managed him. It's a long time in modern football, isn't it, really?
His connection with Kenny Jackett goes a whole lot further back than that, I understand. And Michael Calvin joins us now. Hi, Mike.
Good morning.
Really sad news. I believe you knew kind of Kenny from your youth.
Yeah, we grew up on the same council estate, Holywell, in West Watford. And he was a couple of years younger than me, but he was always sort of looked up to because of his football talent. You know, it was a classic game of kicking a football around on the green outside his house, you know. And as he progressed, it's quite funny that our careers almost like followed a similar path in terms of he went into football. Frankly, I was in awe of him as a kid, and as a man I got to know him really well and respected him. Very private individual, but huge integrity, a great devotion to his task and his job, and he had a great sense of responsibility to his players as well. And I think he found his sort of mettle, if you like, at Millwall. Obviously he'd come through Watford, as you said, with the Graham Taylor teams, the Elton John times, FA Cup final. Very typically for Ken, he never got carried away by playing in an FA Cup final because they didn't win. That was, he said, I don't want to appear ungrateful, but we didn't win. And that to me summed him up. He came from a football family. His dad, Frank, played for Watford. His elder brother was a really good non-league player. And he was steeped in the game. And, in that year in particular that I spent with him and the group, I saw how a manager can form bonds but keep a distance from players. He used to keep meticulous journals and diaries of each training session, which he would refer to in subsequent years. And it was no surprise to me that he had a great reputation within the game as a true football man. And that's the sort of phrase that gets thrown around a lot, isn't it? But actually that meant a lot to him, I think, although he'd probably never show it.
That phrase is interesting because that's exactly what
that's what you said off air. You said he was the kind of archetypal football man. There's a moment in the book, Mike, when he gives Steve Morrison a bit of a send-off, doesn't he? He's not happy about a performance, and you write about it in the book. But Steve Morrison later said that it had a real impact on his sort of mentality and possibly even his career, because he went on to great things, play for his country, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite funny. As I say, Ken's quite a private guy, but we came up with the idea of the book. I was actually on a trip to Las Vegas with my brother and his brother Alan, who said, "Look, he's just taken over at Millwall. You should go and do a book on that club because it's nuts." And I called Ken and said, "Look, this is my idea. I want to do a book behind the scenes." And that basically is everything. I want to be in the dressing room. I want to be on the subs bench. I want to be in the board meetings, etc., etc. And he said, "Well, I'll go and talk to the chief exec and the owner." And they all bought into the idea. So when we actually produced the manuscript, because I always work transparently with people, and I showed it to him, and he said, I won't actually say the precise words because it'll get you off the air, but he said, Mike, I know I said you could use everything, but I didn't expect you to use everything. and that was some of the Steve Morrison stuff was along that lines, because they make, football dressing rooms are fantastic places. I basically completed my football education at Millwall in that year, because you're in a dressing room and you see guys who are friends, at each other's throats, and you see how much it means. And also you get a fantastic insight into a club like Millwall, his character. I think there will be a lot of outpouring of admiration for him today from Millwall fans, I'm sure. Because they identified with him. There was no sort of there was no side to him. He wasn't concerned with image. He was concerned with achievement and responsibility. And I think, in the sort of superficial age that football's now lurched into, actually he was probably out of his time in many ways. But the one thing that was timeless was that his tactical knowledge, his ability to apply that knowledge in a game situation, that's timeless.
Mike, we really appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much. We'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.
That's a pleasure.
Michael Calvin there, the author of Family, Life, Death and Football, a year on the front line with a proper club. His season spent at Millwall with his childhood friend Kenny Jackett, who sadly died today, aged just 64. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We will start to build up to Scotland's first game in the early hours of Monday morning, live on talkSPORT. Of course, we'll be in the camp with Shaban Ahern later on, but we'll get a player's perspective with just a couple of days to go. Ross McCormack will be joining us for a chat, the former Scotland striker.
What did we learn from last night? The reason I asked that is I was watching, and I've said England from a long, long time ago. Maybe towards the end of qualifying, I thought England have got enough to win it, right?
Yes.
If Kane, Bellingham, the spine, and Declan Rice stays fit. I looked at the wingers, not necessarily at the left, because I think Rashford or Gordon are good enough. Either one of them I'll be happy with. But Noni Madueke there to fill in for Saka. Saka isn't going to be fit, or isn't going to be fit enough. Just, you take it around the goalkeeper and you've got an open goal and it's crying out for you to hit it with your right and you hit it with your left. Yeah. I worry that a mistake like that in a nothing game, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Yes. But what it did show me is why hasn't he got enough composure to slot that home? That's a worry.
I would use my weaker foot there. If that's the opposite side for me. I was always confident on my weaker foot just to use it. But Rodgers misses the chance as well where you go through 1v1 and he hits it to the side of the keeper. We've got to be clinical, because those sort of chances might be the only chances you get in a knockout game against the big boys if you're playing Portugal or Brazil. But I still look at it and say, who's the two centre-halves that he's going to start? Because Gahey didn't start last night. No. I look at Reece James, guaranteed. I look at O'Reilly, guaranteed. Look at the midfield three now.
Sorts itself out.
You'd think Bellingham will start with Anderson and Rice. Gordon and Rashford is still hard to call. Who starts on the left-hand side? Will Saka be fit for the first game? We don't know. But I don't know, because he likes Stones, mate. And Stones looked good last night because you're playing against nothing.
But he's played like 9 minutes.
I want to see Stones. I would have loved the game building up to the World Cup where Stones playing against a proper centre forward or a proper winger who's running behind him. Because when I watched him last season, he has struggled. He's looked...
be chatting to the author of the new book on Terry Venables, his biography by Tim Rich. He'll be joining us in the studio a little bit later on, will Tim? But we should bring you the sports headlines now with Nick Ellaby.
Talk Sport.
Thanks, Paul. Good morning. We'll start with the sad news. Former Wolves, Portsmouth and Millwall manager Kenny Jackett has died at the age of 64. Wolves say he laid the foundations for the club as it's known today. Watford, where Kenny worked as a player and a coach, say he was instrumental in some of their greatest successes. Now, back to the World Cup, where Jude Bellingham's admitted England got things wrong off the field at the last Euros. He's told England podcast Lions Den because performances were bad, they didn't enjoy the wins.
The guy who scores the goal in the World Cup winning final isn't always the one that you'd bet your house on. So everyone's got to be ready, everyone's got to feel loved, everyone's got to feel like they're playing a huge part of the team. And the other thing is, just to enjoy it.
Tuchel's England face Croatia live on talkSPORT next Wednesday. Scotland get going live on talkSPORT at 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Charlie Adams warning not to take Haiti lightly.
We could say as supporters, it's a perfect game for us, but it won't be easy in the heat as well. So, it'll be a difficult start, but we have to start the way we started against Bolivia. If we start the way we did against Bolivia, it'll give us a great platform to then try to get that result.
We're told Raul Jimenez's first World Cup goal means he's finally over that near-fatal head injury. Here's Mexican journalist Lalo Lopez.
It was a really big moment for the fans, for himself, because he has been struggling over the past 3 World Cups. He was a substitute. He was very criticized because of that.
The Azteca went ballistic. There were 3 red cards as 10-man Mexico beat 9-man South Africa 2-0. Meanwhile, banks of empty seats at Korea 2, Czech Republic 1 raised questions over FIFA's claims that game was a sellout. And Damien Duff's joined Brentford as a first-team assistant coach. Keith Andrews says Duff brings experience, presence and a real level of detail. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
British painter and artist David Hockney has died aged 88, and Sir Keir Starmer's been meeting his defence team after 4 resignations at the MOD. Emma has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, where we've got a wider range of premium tyres than Britain has rainy days. Visit your local centre or book at quickfit.com today.
In the south, cloudy with patchy drizzle. Sunny spells emerging in the north. Showers across northwest Scotland. Feeling humid in the south, fresher further north.
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is how to win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Now we need to focus on the here and now. We know how special this can be for us.
I think this is the best group of players we've had for a number of years.
Collins against Taffarel. Vital for Scotland. And he finds the corner.
1998, Brazil and Morocco was a group, so what's the chances of that?
To qualify for the World Cup the first time in 27 years?
Battle away, and I think Steve Clarke's got a great spirit there.
Every game's big in the World Cup, every game's big in a qualifying tournament. You have to get the points required to get you into the next stage. We haven't managed to do that.
Scotland get underway in Boston in the early hours of Monday morning, and we'll bring you that game here on talkSPORT. They are taking a really good set of players and some real standout players like Scott McTominay, stomach upset permitting. He's travelled separately with the team, with the club doctor, who's obviously...
Depends if it's food poisoning or a bug.
Yeah. They want to keep him away from some of the other players.
They've got a very, very good midfield, but, up front there.
Although Shankland's starting to play... Look, let's speak... Somebody who knows far more about scoring goals for Scotland.
Our own Stan Collymore predicted them to finish bottom of the group.
He hasn't made many friends, has he?
No, I said to him, that's a very bold claim. I don't think they will, but that's what he thinks.
Ross McCormack joins us. Hi, Ross.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Good, thank you. I mean, Shankland does seem to be. I mean, he's had a good season. He scored in the pre-season game, didn't he? So he's coming into a bit of form, isn't he, at the right time?
Yeah, perfect timing from Shanks. Obviously got 2 goals there the last game. Scored obviously against Curaçao as well. He's had a couple of assists. So, listen, I've been saying for a number of months now that he's Scotland's best striker. He's sort of your best hope. If you only create 1 or 2 chances a game, you would like one of them to fall to him because there's a fair chance that he would take it. But it still remains to be seen whether Steve Clarke goes with him. I think if he goes one up front, then I don't expect Shankland to play. But I think after the last 2 games, scoring 8 goals in both performances, I think it'd be a travesty if we didn't play the 2 up front.
So that would be Shay Adams, would it, you think?
I would imagine so, yes. Just going off the Peru game as well, the link-up play and their chemistry that they had together was spot on. So I don't really see any need to change that.
You might as well go for it. I mean, I know it's very easy for me to say, but there are tougher games ahead, and this is a very good chance to get points on the board and give yourself a bit of a cushion going into some tougher games. So you'd like to think Steve Clarke will see that. I'm sure he will.
Yeah, you're spot on. We can't afford to wait. I think the last Euros over in Germany, I forget who the game was against, but the last game you had to go and have a go. You had to win the game to get through the group, and we waited so long to have a go. I don't think we can make that mistake again. Saturday night is absolutely huge for Scotland. Get the 3 points and you've got an unbelievable chance of getting out of this group.
It's true. One of the TV stations was at Edinburgh Airport, I think, yesterday, to see the fans go. They're so optimistic. They're all going, we're going to win it. They're very, very convinced.
It's like Ali's Army.
They were giddy with excitement, though.
I mean,
that is great.
Everybody's got to believe they've got a chance of winning it. And it's like Greece in the Euros that time. Anything can happen if you get... But, look, I mean, the expectation is that Scotland aren't going to win it, but to go as deep as they can in the tournament will be an achievement.
Yeah, it would be. Listen, I think the important thing for Saturday night is not to underestimate the opposition and take your eye off the ball, because it won't be an easy game. They'll make it difficult. They'll sit in. They'll look to probably counter-attack us. So everyone's got to be on the ball. If they do that and they turn up with the right mindset, I expect Scotland to roll them over.
Yeah. How big a miss is Billy Gilmore going to be, Ross?
I think especially in the first game where they're going to be expected to dominate possession and take the game to the opposition, I think they'll miss him more in that game. You look at the Morocco game and the Brazil games, realistically they'll probably have more possession than Scotland, won't they? So you'd probably like a little bit more size, a defensive midfielder in there. So I don't think they'll probably miss, as good a player as he is, I don't think they'll miss him too much in them 2 games. But the first game is a huge loss for them.
Who does he play in goal, you think? Who's he going to go with? Will he go with Gunn or will he go with Gordon?
For me, I would say Craig Gordon. I would say Craig Gordon. I know he's, what is he now, 56 or something?
40 something.
You played with him, didn't you?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Well, that's the thing. When I was coming through in the Scotland squad, we had 3 unbelievable goalkeepers: Craig Gordon, Alan McGregor, David Marshall, and they were all of a very similar level. So if one was out, the standard didn't drop too much whoever came in. But yeah, I think for everything that he's done in his career, the experiences that he's had, I would go Craig Gordon. And listen, he's still making he made 1 save this year for Hearts away to Dundee. It's one of the best saves I've ever seen in a live game of football. So he can still do it. No qualms at all about putting him in. It's just whatever the manager thinks.
Atmosphere-wise, it should be like a home game, really. I mean, they're going to outnumber the Haitian supporters, you'd imagine. And I just wonder how many have got tickets and how many are just going for the atmosphere and the crack.
Yeah, I'd imagine there'll be a good few thousand over there without tickets. They travel everywhere to the Tartan Army, and I'm sure there'll be a life and soul of the party until, I was going to say the early hours, but the game doesn't kick off until the early hours.
Not over there. It's not.
I mean, it's a bank holiday the following day. Where are you going to be watching, Ross? What's your watch party going to be like?
Well, we have a live podcast show. We actually start at 1:00 on the Saturday evening with a podcast called Open Goal up here, who've been down on talkSPORT before. So we'll be watching that with, I think, about 400 rowdy Scottish fans in attendance.
That's going to be good.
That'll be interesting.
Definitely.
So, but you sound confident. I mean, it's just about. I mean, the performance will be nice, but it is just about a win, isn't it? Getting that first win. I mean, we're old enough to remember Costa Rica back in 1990. Everything was laid on Mo Johnson and all that, and they lost 1-0. You don't want a repeat of that.
And the Euros as well wasn't great.
Yeah, no, listen, I think confidence is going to be key without being arrogant, for sure. They've got to go into that game knowing fine well that they're superior. And if they do everything that they should do, then they'll be on the right side of that result.
Well, good to talk to you, Ross. Enjoy the game. And no doubt we'll catch up with you after the match. All the best. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Former Scotland striker Ross McCormack there. And, of course, that game will be live Sunday into Monday on talkSPORT. Should be an absolute cracker. We're going to be with Shabana Hearn in the Scotland camp. She's travelling with the team, although hopefully keeping away from Scott McTominay. That's the last thing you need.
You don't want that.
So we'll have a chat. We'll have a chat with Shabana a little bit later on. Going to find out more about Canada as they get underway tonight against Bosnia-Herzegovina. Have you seen the Bosnian claim to fame at this tournament, Andy?
No, what is it?
It is a massive coffee pot.
Why would that be?
Well, this is. Let me show you just how massive it is. Look at Andy. Let me just. That's the coffee pot. Look at it.
Wow.
It's what would you say it's the size of? It's absolutely massive. It looks like it's the size of a washing machine. It's a big. You probably can't see it from there. We'll see if we can get the picture for you.
Big washing machine.
It's a big gold washing machine, right? And there's people who can't get into matches, or they'll get into the country at the moment.
Oh yeah.
But this guy, the owner of it's a Bosnian coffee brand. Apparently, they managed to get all the necessary visas and all the paperwork's done. It holds 8,000 cups of coffee.
Blimey.
And requires roughly 140 pounds of coffee beans.
I could do that in the morning with these early mornings.
Yeah, could you? We'd be buzzing, wouldn't we? It's 6 feet tall, 3 feet wide, weighs more than 300 pounds. How did he get it into the country? It's in the Guinness Book of Records as the world's largest coffee pot, apparently. No one's taken that record on since 2004. So, anyway, it was going to be set up on Friday around the Toronto Stadium. And we'll be. I take it it's going to be in situ very soon. If you want a nice early morning coffee, so that's what Bosnia are bringing to it.
Oh, good.
But we'll get a Canadian angle a little bit later on in the show.
I don't know if you've seen in the main office, but
in our main office,
yeah. Our exec producer Max has produced a Jim White time check corner. It's very, very funny.
Oh, that's good.
Put it online, really.
All
the different time checks.
That's right. 1 o'clock with us, 8 o'clock with you. Yes, fantastic. Yeah,
very good stuff.
Jim does love a time check. He'll be up at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock your time, 8 o'clock where he is, with Simon Jordan live from New York a little bit later on. You're sending quite a lot of hat-based sports stars that we'll get onto as soon as we can. But we're going to another one of those quirky World Cup stories. Quite a lot of fans went off to 86 and pulled off all sorts of stunts. One of them was Duncan Coles, who is a Fulham and England fan, who managed to get into the World Cup final, get on the pitch, and photobomb one of Maradona's iconic moments. He'll be joining us for a chat in a few moments' time. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
You've got a couple of positions that Rashford, Gordon, the centre halves. I know Peter.
Saka one on the. How fit is Saka?
Yeah, how fit is B? I think you look at it. Morgan Rogers. The big one is Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham. Who's going to start? Who's not going to start? Can you fit them both into?
Who's starting?
No, Benny, come on. For me, Morgan's had a fantastic couple of years at Aston Villa, a fantastic couple of years, and to see what he's done for Man City when I played with him when he was coming up through the youth team to then go and do what he's done now. It's not shocked me, but it's a great step in the right direction to where he wants to be. But I think Jude's done it for season in, season out. Obviously, he's had a little bit of an injury season, we're going to say, but Jude's quality is still there.
Let me ask you then, Charlie, because you've been in an outside perspective, because all the fans, obviously English fans, are going to say, we're going to win it. And after last night, we're definitely going to win it. After what you saw last night, I know you're going to say England are one of the favourites, but can you see England winning it, or do you still think there are other nations out there that look better?
No, I do think there is other nations that have got a real good chance. I think I look at the Netherlands and I think they're probably a little bit of an outsider. But looking at the odds today, it's, you know, Brazil are probably, and Argentina, two South Americans. You'd expect a South American team to go there. I think it's a shootout for me between France and England. That's what I believe. I think that England have got a brilliant chance. Thomas has made the decision to go and leave these players, Foden, Palmer out. And he's made that decision. And I thought England were really good last night. I thought they'd go and like I say, for me, Stones plays because he can control the game for you.
Yeah.
In the heat, he's very good with the ball. Mark Gahey, very good with the ball. I just thought that partnership could really dovetail really well for England. And I think, and I've said it last Scotland tournament, I think England are really, really strong and they've got a good opportunity of winning this. As a Scotsman, would I like to see it? Absolutely not. but for my son, I say it all the time, for my son who was born in England, I would love to see for him the opportunity of England winning a major tournament.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Inside Series on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Watch the latest Inside Series episode live on talkSPORT's YouTube channel now. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Yes, it's time now to look back on the latest episode of talkSPORT's Inside England series with BetMGM. In this episode, Rory Jennings and Flex discuss whether England's over-reliance on Harry Kane could be their Achilles heel. Both Rory and Flex believe Marcus Rashford should start ahead of Anthony Gordon to help out Harry Kane.
I feel like people are focusing England's Achilles heel on our defence. People seem to see that as the issue. It's not. It's the attack. The attack is the problem because we are so reliant on Harry Kane. Like, so reliant. Like, Harry Kane has scored 79 goals for England. The next person to have scored goals for England, the drop-off is unreal. It's Marcus Rashford. He scored 16. Do you see what I mean? We're so reliant. And then, by the way, after Rashford, the other two forwards, Ollie Watkins scored 6, Ivan Toney scored 1. If that doesn't generate the interest in Marcus Rashford being an obvious starter, just because of the experience, because of the track record, because of what he's done, I don't know what else. I don't know what else can do.
And he's just better than Anthony Gordon. Like I've always known since forever that Marcus Rashford is better than Anthony Gordon.
It's so bizarre though, because club level, he's just swapped places with him.
Yeah, which is
it's an Inter-Barcelona rivalry for that wing, like it is Arsenal, Madueke.
Yeah. And don't forget, you can watch all the latest Inside Series episodes live on talkSPORT's YouTube channel now. That's all thanks to BetMGM. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Inside Series on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Watch the latest Inside Series episode live on talkSPORT's YouTube channel now. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Now, there was clearly something about this country and the world in 1986 which made football fans nomadic. We spoke to the Wolves fans yesterday who went over in 86 to watch England and never came back, set up lives in Canada and the States. Also in 86, our next guest went on a bit of a world tour that was supposed to last 6 months and lasted, I think, 2.5 years, and then culminates and possibly got extended after the final of the 86 game, where, of course, Argentina won in the Azteca, where we saw the game last night. And he managed to photobomb one of Maradona's iconic moments as he was lofted on the shoulders.
He did a bit of a Salt Bay, really.
He did a bit of a Salt Bay, but yeah, unofficially.
Yeah.
His name is Duncan Coles. He joins us now. Hi, Duncan.
Hi, Paul. Good to be on.
Yeah, wow. So this, it's an amazing story, this, isn't it? So, I mean, you can tell us, I mean, well, it'd probably take hours, but you've been around the world, then you've just kind of met various people along the way and decided that you would head off from Monterey, buy a cheap car. Head off from LA, go to Monterey in a sort of cheap car that you bought for $500 and see what happened.
Yeah, that was the what happened. I was in Los Angeles after, almost 2 years travelling, and met up with fans who were arriving. I was working in a hostel, and one chap had a car. He wasn't even a football fan, Simon from Norwich, and next minute we were leaving LA down through the Grand Canyon, San Antonio, then crossed the border and off down to Monterey.
Now, you cut these days a very, a kind of respectable figure, if I may say so. But you were a bit of a chancer back then, weren't you? Because you blagged your way into the stadium for the final by basically slipping a few quid to a bloke on the gate.
Yeah,
and then you climb over the fence to get on the pitch to be in the back of that Maradona picture. Amazing.
Yes, we were in Acapulco when England got knocked out with various other Fulham England fans, and went to the stadium not expecting to get in for the final. And opportunists like you were in those days saw an opportunity, and in we went. And in behind the goal, got free beer from the girls who were bringing it around, because she said, "Oh, it's free for England." So
fine.
That was it. And then the final whistle went. It was a fantastic game, and me and there was two lads from Ipswich who had travelled down in the car, and one of them looked at me, I looked at him. We looked at the fence. Yeah, let's have it. Off we went. Climbed up on the fence. There was a bit of a moat, and we were on the pitch.
Amazing. I'm looking at a picture of the car I'm reading an old piece that the Fulham website did a few years
ago.
The
car was amazing.
The picture of the car, is that the car that you bought for 500 quid that you travelled in? Is that the one?
Well, this was...
You were done.
This was Simon, who was just going on a trip around the US, so I had no interest in football. Next minute, he's coming down there with us, so he bought it for 400 quid.
It looks like a stock car, Duncan. Honestly, it's dents in the side of it, it's bits hanging off of it. I mean, I can't believe it made a 1,500-mile journey. It doesn't look like it could go 5 miles.
Yeah, we only had one problem with it. The petrol tank got punctured a bit, but we were on the way down to Mexico, and it got fixed by small garage in small village in Mexico, and away we went again. But Simon took it all the way back to LA and left it in a parking lot.
What about after? When did you finally come back to Britain?
The following Christmas. That Christmas, yeah. Wow. I went back to LA, and then I'd met a girl in Mexico,
right.
And then went back down there again for a couple of months, and then did a lot of the US and then back home.
Yes, you were saying when you went to Monterey, there a lot of the papers, I suppose England fans had hopefully got tickets for the final thinking England would be there. But there was a feeling at the time that the people in Monterey thought the hooligans were coming. But, of course, they were a bit surprised when you were all a fairly solid bunch of people and not hooligans at all.
Yes. Well, we had to tell them we were hooligans because they didn't want to know otherwise.
Oh, right.
And then it was this big thing. Los Hooliganos was on the billboards of the newspapers. And so we thought, oh, God, we're going to have some trouble here. And, everyone was so friendly. It was a fantastic atmosphere in Monterey. English were all very well behaved. And we just had a really good time, mixing with the Mexican people. Took us off to their houses, drink beer, cooked us food. It was really a good experience.
And in these more security conscious times, there's no way you'd get. I mean, like you look at every picture from quite a lot of angles of Maradona on the shoulders of the players holding the trophy aloft, and there's Duncan right in the background celebrating. I mean,
the original photo bomber.
Yeah, you're kind of in touching distance, but I mean, now you'd be wrestled to the ground and tasered, and Lord knows what, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it must be impossible now, but. Well, it's for years I didn't really think much about it, and then my lad sort of brought it up.
Yeah.
And my lad brought it up, and that's when the journalist did a piece on it.
Great stuff. Well, look, Duncan, Fulham, you're still following Fulham, I take it, are you?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
And how are you feeling about life after the manager?
Bit disappointed he's gone. Did a very good job for Fulham.
Yeah.
But new era, we'll see what happens.
Good stuff. Well, look, good to talk to you. It's a great story. Appreciate you joining us. Nice one. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Paul.
All the best.
Cheers, Andy. Bye.
There we are.
Good.
There is Duncan Coles, the England fan and Fulham fan who managed to...
there's so many in the dressing room.
So many calls. That's right. That's what he'd been known as on talkSPORT. We're going to chat to Sean Martin from BetMGM. Tim Rich will be joining us in the studio to chat about his biography of Terry Venables, the former England manager, if I can dream. So he'll be here a little bit later on. Left a good job at Borough because he loves Wolves, played there, wanted to try and keep them up, even though it was looking pretty difficult. So it's quite a shoddy way to get rid of a manager, from to hear a few rumours, go online, then have to ring the club to find out if it's true or not.
Yeah, totally. It's ridiculous, really, and definitely out of the blue. And I think if you speak to anyone, that's either been at the club or been watching, you can see what he's done since he's come to that club. I spoke about it when he first went there. His man management skills, the togetherness that he's got with that group of players. And what I find incredible is that they've had this plan. They knew really for a long time that the situation they were in and they were going to get relegated. And he's built this team. He's then played a really good style. They played some really good games. Yes, results probably weren't as they should be, but then towards the end, he's then whittled it down and he's looked at players that he's probably thought, yeah, these will do for me next year, these won't. They've had all of this time to plan because they knew the situation. And then the players that they've already signed, and like Andre, who's re-signed, signed a new deal, he talks about Rob Edwards as being a integral part of that. And then they release the interview with Kieran Trippier yesterday about how instrumental Rob was when he had other clubs that were interested. So then you have this bombshell that happens the next day when Rob's been sacked. It's absolutely incredible.
Have they explained themselves, Fossen? Have they said why they've decided to do this? Is it the same sort of statement you normally get, or have they explained why?
Thanking him and all that.
Well, no, I haven't seen one, to be honest. And the thing that
We're told Raul Jimenez's first World Cup goal means he's finally over that near-fatal head injury. Here's Mexican journalist Lalu Lopez.
It was a really big moment for the fans, for himself, because he has been struggling over the past 3 World Cups. He was a substitute. He was very criticized because of that.
There were more red cards than goals as 10-man Mexico beat 9-man South Africa 2-0. Also in Group A, have we seen one of the goals of the tournament already?
Hwang In-beom with the equaliser. It's an audacious finish from inside the penalty area. Pandemonium inside the Czechia penalty box.
That razor-sharp cutback and deft lob started Korea Republic's 2-1 comeback win over the Czechs. FIFA's ticketing price model is back in the spotlight, though. They reported a near full house for the game, but huge banks of empty seats were clearly visible. talkSPORT's World Cup commentary continues with co-host Canada versus Bosnia live tonight from 7 p.m. Scotland fans are sweating on news of Scott McTominay. He's got food poisoning and is travelling away from the squad as a precaution. And Kieran Trippier's move to Wolves is now in jeopardy over their sacking of Rob Edwards. Trippier is said to be furious and is exploring his legal position. More at talksport.com. It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Yes, time to get all the odds now, thanks to BetMGM. We're going to be joined by Sean Martin from BetMGM. We're going to look at some of the top sport events, discuss all the latest odds. Hello again, Sean.
How are we, boys? All right?
Not too bad. Andy and I said we have had a bit of a brain fade because I was thinking, it's a bank holiday in Scotland on the Monday, that was the day to recover after the game. But Scotland fans, okay, they're going to be up till 5 o'clock in the morning, and then they're going to go to bed. So they'll have the rest of Sunday to recover.
I don't get it.
But you need another whole day. Another whole day to recover, Sean. Is that only in Scotia?
Wholeheartedly support the notion.
It's great. So what about, we were chatting to Ross McCormack earlier on, looking at the team that might play and Scotland's chances. What are the punters? What sort of odds are we looking at for this one?
I said to you yesterday, I'm going between darkness and optimism about Scotland. It's currently an optimistic day, I must admit. As I say, we do have the guts of a good squad there, hoping for that kind of more fortitude than we've shown in the 2 Euros that we've been to in recent years. And in all honesty, when you talk about the team, you think, could you ask for a better start to the group than Haiti? And I don't think you could. You've got to make the most of that. First World Cup game for us in 28 years. It's Haiti's first in 52. Am I still slightly wary? Yeah, probably, because it's Scotland. But in truth, you cannot be rocking up to a World Cup, drawing Haiti first and not taking care of business. And as much as I and others favour kind of self-deprecation with Scotland, the 2 times we've drawn minnows first in the groups, I checked it earlier, at a World Cup, we have won Zaire in 1974, New Zealand in 1982. We are odds on for this one as well. So there's almost no excuse. I don't quite want to use that phrase, but there's almost quite no excuse. The draw is just under 3-1. Haiti about 4.5-1. Ultimately, when you've got John McGinn, Scott McTominay kicking about, assuming the latter is actually good to go, because I heard he was ill yesterday. You've got proper players in there throughout the squad. McGinn ended the season with Villa with, I think it was 3 goals, 2 assists in his last 4 starts and lifted the Europa League. McTominay being a scorer of big goals for Scotland and Napoli. On that note, actually, talking about the wider squad, it's maybe worth a punt on Scotland's top scorer market, because Scott McTominay is 3-1 just to be Scotland's top scorer.
That's interesting.
McGinn's all the way out to 8-1. And Lawrence Shankland, Hearts striker, who's just gone to Rangers, there's a good chance he plays against Haiti because he scored in both pre-tournament friendlies. And assuming most, hopefully not all, but most of Scotland's tournament goals will come in the opener, Lawrence Shankland to finish the team top scorer. He was 8-1 last week. That's halved. He's now 4-1. So it could be a bit of value there before that drops even further, guys.
Did you say John? I just asked about John McGinn. Did you say John McGinn to score in this game or to be the top scorer?
To be Scotland's top goal
scorer.
Say,
because that would be great odds, isn't it? Because John McGinn's always likely to pop up with a goal, isn't he, in a game?
Yeah, he's Scotland's top scorer in the squad. He's got 20 international. He's only 20 international goals. He's only 10 behind Kenny Dalglish and Dennis Law's record.
I was about to bite your hand off there when you said that, but
He's a very decent midfielder.
Actually, it's not bad odds for Scotland's top scorer in the tournament, to be honest. So
it is interesting that I was feeling quite optimistic until Stan Collymore, who we have on the show, he's a very good judge of football. Stan, he's pretty decent at it. He thinks Scotland are going to finish bottom of the group. I can't see that.
Yeah.
Well, I hope not, but 5-1 we are to finish bottom.
Really?
3-10. So odds on to get out of the group, not necessarily first, second, or third specifically, but just to get out of the group. 5-2 to get exactly 3 points in the group as well, which you can see where I'm going with that logic.
Yeah.
We're going to see that one of the hosts tonight, the USA, Mauricio Pochettino. They've not played any competitive football like all the hosts. I mean, Mexico stepped up last night. We'll see Canada later this evening as well. But it's going to be a lot of eyes on the USA because, you know, they've got the bulk of the games and you want those nations to do well. So how are you seeing this one again?
I never want them.
You never want them in there. No. Paraguay, what about this one then, Sean?
USA are 21-20, so it's actually decent odds given they're at home. There's actually 8 games essentially across the weekend, including the games tonight, Canada, and then the USA game. It just screams accumulator to me, really, across the weekend. I've actually picked out a few teams to win for some of those games, and it starts with Canada and USA both to win their games against Bosnia and Paraguay respectively. That would make it a clean sweep of host nation opening wins. I've also went Brazil to beat Morocco, which is, you know, not necessarily straightforward, but they've not lost an opener for 92 years, Brazil, so I'm kind of putting my faith in that and in Carlo Ancelotti. Whisper it, but also Scotland to beat Haiti, Germany to beat Curacao, and Netherlands to beat Japan. That comes in at 17-1. But Andy, I wanted to say to you, given what you said yesterday about Japan, do you reckon there's a chance they actually upset the Dutch in that?
I do. I mean, if they play they play as well as they played it at Wembley, yes, I do think they've got a chance.
I could see that being a draw, actually. Yeah. That could be your acca buster there, Sean. We'll have to see what happens. Just a quick one on the rugby. As we move away from the football, we got Gallagher Prem semi-finals as well, haven't we?
We do, yeah. Regular season finished last week. Of course, top 4 sides into the semis. It's first versus fourth and second versus third. So home advantage may be a factor there. Tonight it's Northampton Saints, Leicester Tigers. Both have won it all in recent years. Tigers losing in the final last year. It is Saints leading the betting though. They're 2-5. Tigers 33-20. And then Saturday afternoon we've got Bath, or Finn Russell's Bath side as I'm duty bound to call them, heavy favourites against Exeter in a Southwest derby. Bath obviously looking to go on and retain their title. Exeter not won it for I think it's 6 years. In both semi-finals the home side won both fixtures in the league this season, so it's a relatively modest double of just under even money for Northampton and Bath both to win, gents.
Have you got Monday off to drown your sorrows or celebrate, or are we going to be chatting to you next week?
I'm off all week next week to celebrate. Well, hopefully to celebrate. So, but the week after before I'm speaking to you again. Gents.
Okay. Well, have a good break. Enjoy the tournament. Cheers, Sean. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys.
That was our look at the latest odds. All thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+, begambleaware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18+, gambleaware.org.
John Norman, our chief cricket correspondent, has joined us in the studio. The news that Kane Williamson of New Zealand has retired from international cricket mid-series against England. Hello, John.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's gone on here? I mean, we saw him pull off a fantastic catch in that
Yeah,
first
his batting
test.
wasn't too good.
No, that is true.
Well, there's been rumours about Kane Williamson retiring for the past 6 months. There was a feeling he was going to do it during the last New Zealand summer. But obviously that decision was pushed back, and after playing at Lords, he's decided enough is enough. Leaves me feeling a little strange because is that really what the team needs? You know, your greatest ever run scorer disappearing after the first test. If you knew he was going to go, you would have thought it would probably been better for the team for him to do it before the series, not after the first test. But
Maybe he's just gone out there. I mean, so that thing of a boxer knowing halfway through a fight, thinking, "No, I'm done. I shouldn't have done this."
Pitch to decide it on, though. I mean,
no,
it was a really. All batters struggled on that pitch. So.
Absolutely. I don't think it was that test match. I think you're right. You do hear from cricketers who've known the time is right to go because essentially they can't take themselves back to the well. They realise they can't invest the time and the mental capacity. But it still feels a little strange to be walking away from a side when they're 1-0 down with 2 to play. And, you know, the fact that it was Lords, do you think he just fancied one last test match at Lords? I don't know, but I don't know. It leaves me a bit cold.
John, just away from that, as we got you in, Nick Holt wrote a piece in the Telegraph today. The headline is, "It is becoming clear that England's top brass wants Stokes gone." Rob Key, the managing director's response to the broken curfew, laid bare how the mood has hardened against the captain. You think there's something in that?
I do. I think, when did this break? So it was Monday it broke. Tuesday, the feeling was Stokes might quit. Then they
obviously talked him out of it.
Well, that's the thing.
Or did
I
they?
don't know. That's the thing. So the timeline is kind of, we found out Monday. Tuesday, it felt like Stokes was going to quit, and he was talked away from doing that. Wednesday, they called this press conference.
Like Craig David.
It's so massively disappointing. You know, he's been a good captain. There's something about him as a cricketer. It's just, with everything that's gone on, for him to get caught in that position is so disappointing for me. I just don't get it. He's he's mid-30s. He's responsible. He's got children. What are they doing out after the curfew?
Well, Gus Atkinson says he didn't know the curfew was happening.
Right.
Ben Stokes obviously did know the curfew was happening. I think this is just, a continuation from the disappointment of losing the Ashes, the pressure that he'd been under for a number of years going into and throughout, the fact that I think he felt like some of the team let him down. And, and I'm not being wise after the event, go back and look at the preview podcast that I did with Lizzie Ammon from The Times. We'd just been in the press conference with Ben. The day before a Lord's test, you expect him, after having not spoken for 5 months, expected him to be in a much better frame of mind, and he was clearly still battling some demons. And this is a guy who we know has struggled in that regard, so it's certainly not something that we say lightly. But I think that there is concern about Ben Stokes, where he is as a person, as a captain, as a player, all of that right now. And you're absolutely right. 13 years after I went to Lords to hear that Kevin Peterson wasn't going to play again, despite the fact he still had 2 or 3 years at the top of his game, and he was out that side because of off-the-field matters. Are we really going to be going and doing that all over again with Ben Stokes?
Second test at the Oval next Wednesday, and you and the team will be there?
Well, we'll be there, but Kane won't. Ben won't, and we do still have 4 days. Gus won't.
Yeah.
Harmy's doing corporate, so he's not part of the team this time.
Oh, really?
So he's not. Well, he will be there. But yeah, we're going to be back. So if you're listening to talkSPORT overseas, and I know we've got millions that do so, you are more than welcome to join us. 75 different countries we knocked off last year.
Amazing.
People listening to our coverage around the world. So myself, Matt Pryor is going to be there first 2 days, Neil Manthorpe, Jarrett Kimber, Melinda Farrell, and a host of others, seeing if England can, get us back talking about cricket. Men's cricket. Can I just say one other thing?
Yeah.
There is a lot of frustration about what has occurred this week, because what the ECB wanted to be talking about was the fact that the Women's T20 World Cup starts today.
Starts tonight,
right? It's in Birmingham. It's England against Sri Lanka. England had a great chance of winning the tournament. The tickets have...
Until we put Australia involved.
Well, Australia aren't quite the team they were. Right?
Okay, that's
but
good
yeah,
to hear.
Australia is still favourites.
Yeah.
But look at the way England have played against
Yeah,
India.
we should be more positive. You're right, John. Yeah.
Well, but you know, it's a real shame that in the build-up to what is the premier event, pretty
been
much in
overshadowed.
women's cricket, we're talking about off-field matters again in the men's game.
We'll hear from you next week, John. Thanks very much. John Norman, our cricket correspondent. Kane Williamson retired from international cricket mid-series. We're going to be chatting about the late, great Terry Venables, a man who never went to a World Cup but gave us a memorable Euros, with author of his biography, Tim Rich, in a few moments' time. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
Look at some of the other countries. Sorry, Andy. There's going to be top players on the bench. Look at France. You know, you could have Barcola, you could have Doué, you could have Cherki on the bench. So they will get their time. They will get their minutes. No, I'm saying I'm on about Rodgers being on the bench. I mean, you can have top players like Rodgers on the bench that comes on, affects the game. With this heat as well, you're going to need the whole squad, aren't you?
100%. You can see that the heat was affected him, especially in the beginning. I mean, that's where I have to say, guys, that's where I think Cole Palmer should have been on this plane. Yeah. Even if it's 15 minutes, you have to get that guy on the plane, man. That's the big decision where with the others, you can kind of argue a little bit, you know, but when it comes to Cole Palmer, we need that magic. Look at Brazil. Look at Carlo Ancelotti. He's taking Neymar, even though we know Neymar probably won't give him 90 minutes. But it's Neymar. He's got magical moments. Now, I'm not saying Cole Palmer is the same as Neymar. Watchers, I'm not saying that at all. But that's a player that can produce magic. And I'm a little bit worried that we don't have it, especially if you don't have a 100% fit Saka. You know? You don't... Yes, you've got Jude Bellingham. But besides Harry Kane, who's going to drop a lot, who's going to create the magic for you?
Joe, I was going to ask you about Saka not being there. He obviously needs minutes, and players that played for England out on the right in the last tournament aren't there. You mentioned Cole Palmer, Phil Foden being another one. I wasn't impressed when I saw Madueke's name in the squad. I saw him last night. An open goal, he decided to take a shot with the wrong foot as well. Is that a worry? Because he obviously needs to step up. You've seen him, obviously, for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like what Madueke has done in terms of he's been able to push Saka in the Arsenal team. Personally, I would have probably gone Bowen, you know, instead of Madueke, or I would have just made sure that Cole Palmer got in the team. If Madueke is going to be there, he's probably going to be...
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Panama in New Jersey live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 with Adidas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more.
Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand. Tell me why, oh why can't my dream come true?
That's Terry Venables in fine voice, the former England manager. He had quite the life, I think it's fair to say, and now it has been documented by the author Tim Rich in his book, If I Can Dream, The Life of Terry Venables. Tim's joined us in the studio. Hi, Tim.
Lovely to be with you guys.
It's interesting because we met Terry along the way a few times, but you've written this book, but you never knew him, did you? What's the fascination with him?
I didn't. I was one of the very few journalists of my sort of generation who didn't really know him well. And there are journalists who thought he was a genius, who knew him well, and there are journalists who knew him well, who thought he was a charlatan and basically built his career on not very much. So, in a way, I was coming with a blank sheet of paper. I was fascinated with him for so many reasons. One of them because he was such an interesting bloke.
Yeah.
Now, one thing Thomas Tuchel is not going to do, he's not going to write a novel. He's not going to script a TV series. He's not going to release a single. And
he's not going to sing with the Joe Loss Orchestra on a lot of levels.
For a lot of reasons, he's not going to sing with the Joe Loss Orchestra.
That was my wife's uncle.
Yeah, he's related by marriage to Joe Loss's Andy. So
well, I said it's impossible for people now to imagine how famous Joe Loss was.
Yeah,
he played, his orchestra played for the royal family at private Christmas parties, and he was the subject of not one but two This Is Your Lives.
Yeah. He was the Noel Gallagher of his generation.
He played at the 1981 wedding of Charles and Diana. Yeah,
oh, wow. Blimey.
But I also used to go to...
But this is not Joe Loss's book, we should say.
No. I used to go to Terry's sort of nightclub, Scribes.
Yeah.
The karaoke nights on a Saturday night. It were fantastic.
Yeah.
All the great
as you said,
players
he's
there.
kind of a polymath. He was such an interesting character. He was always willing to turn his hand to everything and give anything a go. But at the heart of it, he was a very, very good footballer. And I would contest if you don't manage Barcelona and England and... took us nearly all the way to a Euros final. I think he was a
great.
I think charlatan's probably a bit harsh.
Yeah, I think there are some people who are kind of motivated by malice or whatever. But he was a lot tougher. He had this very genial image, and he was a very articulate, intelligent man. But he was also very tough.
Yeah.
If you crossed him. Paul Ince crossed him before, while he was England manager, by saying he wanted to be a box-to-box midfielder. And Terry said, well, no, you either... And he dropped him for 9 months. And Nigel Martin, when he was a goalkeeper, when Terry took over at Leeds, Nigel was the number one. And he said, he just returned from the 2002 World Cup. He said, I don't want to go on the pre-season tour to Australia. And Terry said, if you don't go, you're never playing for me again. And he didn't. And so he could be very tough. And you don't get to be manager of England, manager of Barcelona... or taking Tottenham to a 91 FA Cup final without being tough inside.
Yeah.
I mean, manager of Australia, I'd forgotten.
Yeah, of course. And signing Gaza, which was no mean feat because Alex Ferguson thought he'd got it done, so to have kind of persuaded Paul Gascoigne, who was was a sort of hot ticket at that time to come to Spurs. That was the other thing with Terry. He was... Players wanted to play for him.
Yeah, he was a supreme negotiator. So when he, Alex Ferguson always said, if he'd come to Manchester United, he wouldn't have become an alcoholic. He wouldn't have, wasted so much of his career. Which I think Gary Lineker thinks, quite a few people who know Alex Ferguson thinks is rubbish. Because he wasn't very good handling Paul McGrath, who was also an alcoholic and a tremendous talent, and he says afterwards, I was too much of a sergeant major to Paul McGrath. Now what Terry did, he realised you couldn't be a sergeant major to Gaza. You couldn't keep on shouting at him, disciplining him all the time. You had to, if you wanted him to create on a football pitch, you had to let him, you had to let him off the leash in his private life, and he did that really well. So yes, I mean, and also when he did it, basically Alex Ferguson interviewed Gaza first, Terry interviewed him second, and the blunt truth was, Gaza liked Terry Venables a lot more than he liked Alex Ferguson.
Different sort of men, really.
Yeah, it was a very different sort of men. He never went to a World Cup. So Euro 96, we came so close. And the feeling was he would go off to 98, France. But it wasn't to be, was it? And the other side of Terry is that, he wasn't a blazer. and there were certain things going on in his sort of business life that the FA didn't like, and that's kind of what cost him the job in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Terry was talented at many, many, many things. He was a terrible businessman. And I'm afraid
They fell out big stuff.
they fell out. We spilled over beyond Euro 96, and the FA thought, because at the time there were the Blazers thought that being England manager is a bit like being an ambassador.
Yeah.
You have to have clean hands. And so they wouldn't give him a contract to cover the 98 World Cup. And Terry said, well, I don't do auditions. I'm going to go, because sooner or later he thought the FA, centred around a Liverpool director called Noel White, would force him out. And he quit in December '95, and he said, "I'll be leaving at the end of Euro '96," which everyone thought was, when you see what he achieved at Euro '96, looked bizarre.
Yeah. Now, dementia is a cruel disease, whoever gets it. But in someone like Terry, who was a very sort of sparky, funny, sharp character, we did a show from Stamford Bridge, a sponsored show to kick off the season. And Terry was booked, and we were looking forward to it because he was always great value. And it was kind of Terry, something wasn't right. The handbrake was on. It was getting a bit, it just wasn't him. And we both said afterwards, something's off. And I think that was the kind of early stages. I think other people you've spoken to in the book found similar experiences.
They did. I mean, Gary Lineker said that, he saw him when he's doing stuff at Al Jazeera, and said, you could see the decline. I mean, for everyone who gets dementia, it is an appalling and cruel disease. Even more so when you have the mind that he had, this brilliant butterfly mind that sort of encompassed so many things. For him to be finished by dementia was unbearably cruel. Yes, it was a lot of people were shocked when he died.
I think because of '96 and everything that went on, and that sort of summer of love, and the way England played, and how close we came in that penalty. It's a lot of love for him, I think, as a England manager.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he filled the job, and he was someone an imposing presence. He made footballers feel good about themselves, and he made the people watching England feel good about themselves. When we beat Holland 4-1 in the final group game, that was just the most amazing game. Because we'd outplayed one of the great football nations of Europe in a way that we just never had since '66. And there was there was a Three Lions song, there was a Summer of Love, there was, Oasis versus Blur, all that kind of thing, Cool Britannia, and and at the top of that was this very, very good England football team with Gazza, with Shearer, with David Seaman, with Paul Ince, with David Platt, with Tony Adams, all of them amazingly strong characters.
Yeah.
And it's a tribute to Terry that he was able to manage a really strong team of personalities, all of whom were kind of leaders.
Well, it was quite the life, and Tim has charted it all in his book, If I Can Dream, The Life of Terry Venables. It's out now, I take it, is it, Tim?
It is, yes. It was published yesterday, so it's...
good luck with it.
And who's it published by? Just remind me.
It's published by Reach Sports.
Oh, excellent. And people will be able to find it on Amazon and beyond it and all good books.
He was a great pundit as well. I remember
he was, yeah. I mean,
watching that little Maradona thing on iPlayer, and it cut to Terry at half-time and at the end.
At the 86, yes.
86.
Yeah, and his knockabout stuff with Jimmy Hill, the two of them were great together on TV.
They're both similar minds, similarly sharp, interesting guys who could see through tactics very, very quickly and also explain them.
Tim, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
We wish you well with the book.
It's been a pleasure.
Still to come this afternoon, we'll bring some World Cup Clips of the Week special. We're in the Scotland camp once again, and Godzilla El Nino apparently is heading to the States, according to the tabloids. We'll find out if that's true from Fox Weather's...
for Peru, doesn't he?
I think he does. Fox Weather's very own Stephen Morgan over in New York coming up shortly.
what about the World Cup? Is the US of A ready for the World Cup? I went out with producer Luke and assistant producer Joe in the streets of Lower Manhattan yesterday, and we kind of gauged the feeling. You lot ready for this?
I think the country will probably be most into it right in the group stage, because that's probably when we're going to do the best, unfortunately. You know, I think there are great soccer towns in America. I'm not sure New York is one of them.
Not that much this year, to be honest. With the Knicks in the finals, I think that's taken the attention of the city.
It doesn't sound like they're buying tickets, so, I mean, only so much. Yeah. I mean, they're not really buying into it. Did they not sell out the first game? Is that what I heard?
I don't follow soccer that much, so no. And then as a person that lives here, it's going to be quite disruptive for us. So, you know, but hey, should be a good event, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's at MetLife Stadium, so there's a lot of attraction there. You know, the Giants play there, the Jets play there, so there's going to be a lot of people flying in from overseas to check out the games for sure. Yeah.
So it's the biggest World Cup ever. Might it be the best World Cup ever?
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, right now it's just Knicks, you know, but we'll get to the World Cup when we get there.
Gotta watch something. Gotta support everybody.
Okay, and the USA are in it. Obviously, they're one of the host nations.
But we ain't gonna win.
No? Who'll win it?
More likely gonna be Spain.
Yeah, probably. How's Birmingham, Alabama?
Hot, mosquitoes, a lot of loud talking people.
Talk Sport.
The headlines at 3 minutes past 12. I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. The former Wolves, Portsmouth and Millwall manager Kenny Jackett has died. Author Michael Calvin spent 12 months with Kenny during his 6-year stint at Millwall. He also grew up with Kenny.
Huge integrity, a great devotion to his task and his job, and he had a great sense of responsibility to his players as well. And I think he found his sort of mettle, if you like, at Millwall.
Kenny Jackett was 64 years old. Back to the World Cup, Jude Bellingham says everyone's got to feel loved when playing for their country. He told England's Lions Den podcast that the squad didn't connect well at the last Euros.
Felt like you don't get the feeling that we were as happy as we should be. Because there has to be that element of relentlessness and you want to win, but the nature of football, and especially at this level, is that wins go out the system very quickly, and I think we should have held on to that moment a little bit more.
England face Croatia live on talkSPORT next Wednesday. Scotland fans, there's a warning not to underestimate Haiti.
They've got Isidore, they've got Bellegarde from Wolves. Played Premier League level, you know. These are very good players. This ain't going to be as easy as we think it's going to be from the outside. Definitely not in that camp. Steve will not be saying that. Oh, by the way, this is 3 points.
Yeah. The former Scotland midfielder Charlie Adam there, he says the Heat will count against the Scots in their opener. Scotland v Haiti is live on talkSPORT at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. In Formula 1, Pierre Gasly has been reinstated into third place for last weekend's Monaco Grand Prix. He'd been given 2 5-second penalties, which, after the race, dropped him to 7th place. But he's successfully appealed. And Kane Williamson has retired from international cricket. Arguably New Zealand's best ever batsman, Williamson led the Black Caps to victory in the first Test Championship final in 2021. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The painter David Hockney has died at the age of 88, and Sir Keir Starmer's been meeting his defence team after 2 ministers quit the MOD. Sinead has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. You can't trust the weather right now, but you can always trust Pirelli tyres. In stock now at your local centre. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
In the south, cloudy with patchy drizzle, sunny spells emerging in the north, but showers across northwest Scotland, feeling humid in the south, fresher further north.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit, giving your car the magic sponge and water bottle treatment to keep it going this summer. QuickFit, drive away happy every time.
Yes, good afternoon. It's Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT, and we're going to look ahead to the latest weather over in the States and beyond. All thanks to QuickFit. We read today, that there could be a weather bomb heading across North and Central America.
Tornado alert around England's World Cup training.
Not around England, I hope.
No, not around England. Around Kansas City.
Indeed.
Warned of a possible tornado.
Rising sea temperatures have turbocharged the volatile El Nino system that dominates the climate across North and Central America. It could cause searing heat, stifling humidity, biblical rain. They're calling this the Godzilla El Nino. Well, our tabloids are. Let's see if Fox Weather's very own Stephen Morgan is saying that as well. Hi, Stephen.
Paul and Andy, good morning. I don't think you need me. You've read the headlines, so I think you're good. Yeah, there was an update. El Nino is going to be a big driver of not just the weather here across the United States, but as we head into fall and winter, that's going to be a big driver for global weather. We'll have to see. It could be historically strong. A lot of times, though, the El Nino pattern that we see emerge, it takes several months to start to really influence our weather. But yeah, those storms in Kansas, it looks possible, especially on Saturday.
So the Godzilla El Nino is a thing. This is not made up by our newspapers. It exists as a term, does it?
Well, Godzilla sounds a bit extreme, but what we call it stateside, a super El Nino, that's not an official term. In fact, NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, they talk about El Nino as being very strong or just strong. And they actually mentioned that this one could be very strong. So we're calling it a super El Nino. It's when water's warm 2 degrees Celsius above average in the Pacific near the equator. It's real involved, but as we know, ocean affects atmosphere, and that cycle can really disrupt the overall global pattern.
So over on the West Coast, the USA get underway tonight, don't they, against Paraguay? What kind of weather can we expect for USA's kickoff?
It's going to be a great day. One thing about Los Angeles, because that's where the USA and Paraguay is going to be playing, this time of year, things start to get really dry. So as we were talking about the game in Orlando, North Carolina, yesterday we had the games in Mexico. LA is climatologically speaking one of the driest cities, one of the driest host cities. So that's great. And even if it's, let's say if it was going to be a rainy day, LA Stadium, they've got a roof. So we're not too worried about any of the rain. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s. I had to do some conversions. The 60s, 19 degrees Celsius or so.
Yeah, perfect.
I love it. So you work in the old money in America in terms of that. So just very quickly.
Not by choice.
No.
But yeah.
Our eyes also on Haiti versus Scotland in Foxborough, Massachusetts on our point of view, the early hours of Sunday morning. What can we expect from Haiti, Scotland then, sort of Saturday evening for you guys?
It's a great day, and I'm so glad that game's going to happen. That is an outdoor stadium, as you all know. We have had some pretty rough weather. Actually, that system that you guys are talking about for Kansas on Saturday, that will all be moving to the east, but we will be able to get in that game, no problem. Scotland and Haiti, it's going to be pleasant. Temperatures in the 70s, so in the mid-20s degrees Celsius. It's looking like a good day. Now Sunday, maybe a different story, but we don't care about Sunday right now.
That will suit Scotland. So.
That certainly will. Brilliant, Stephen. Thank you as always. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Steve Morgan there over in New York for Fox Weather.
Very smart, isn't he? I feel like we've got a suit
well,
on for that.
he's on air on TV. That's why. I mean, you know,
we are technically sort of.
Well, yeah, but you know me, Argentina 78 T-shirt. That was talkSPORT's weather update. All thanks to Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with Quick Fit. Like a super sub that keeps your car in the game this summer. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
And now it's time for H&J versus Tinsel the Turkey.
Yes, it kicked off yesterday. Everybody needs, or every World Cup and every show really needs a predictive animal.
They do.
And we had Paul the Octopus, who of course, was famous. We have Tinsel the Turkey, a one-time FIFA advisor and who's fallen out with FIFA and Infantino. So he's now just basically roaming the tournament.
He's been using asparagus, I gather.
Oh, really?
It's cheating.
What they call them? Those
Jemima Packington.
Jemima Packington. We haven't spoken to her at this World Cup. We'll say
Not a bad thing.
she'll rock up at some point. But anyway, we all need a predictive animal. Ours is Tinsel, the turkey.
Yeah.
And well, let's say good afternoon, Tinsel. Yeah, good to speak to you
Sounds
as well.
a bit tired. He stayed up for South.
No, well, he was in Mexico last night.
Yeah.
He's going to Canada, apparently. But I understand you're not going to any games, Tinsel, in the USA. Is this because your visa was rejected?
Oh, dear.
No, apparently it's because they eat a lot of turkey legs in America. And he needs both of his for Thursday Power League, he says. So you were there in Mexico. You were there at the Azteca, Tinsel. Who did you go with? Yeah, Tinsel says he went with his old mate from FIFA, Gonzalo Trimmings. He said there was him, Gonzalo's son and his daughter. He said, but sadly, his wife couldn't make it.
Shame.
Yeah, so it wasn't all the trimmings then. Wasn't all the trimmings then. Yeah.
He's laughing. You
Yeah.
like that one.
I don't we think it's a little bit early to have gone with that gag, considering it's only the second time we've done that with Tinsel. Do you think it was a bit early? We've got 5 more weeks for this to go with all the trimmings, Tinsel?
Yeah, he says, as long as you don't replace me with Flipper,
He says no. It takes him a bit of a while to say it.
It's very long.
So there we are, the feature that makes H&B versus ChatGPT look sophisticated. The whole point of this is to try and predict the score of a big game. And a talkSPORT listener will be joining us. In this case, Andrew, the City fan, once again, because it's winner stays on.
He beat
Tinsel. And he won, yes. I think we went for the draw in the opening game, didn't we?
Well, Tinsel did, yeah.
I say we. I say we. Tinsel did. So Andrew beat...
shatter the illusion.
Andrew beat Tinsel. Hello again, Andrew.
How are you doing?
Yeah, you're one up on a turkey sound. No, a turkey, not a turkey sound effect. Don't start thinking that. Let's not break the fourth wall. We're going to turn to Haiti versus Scotland. Well done to you. Winner stays on. Do you want to give us what you think will happen in the game between Haiti and Scotland and a scoreline?
I think you've got to fancy Scotland, but I don't think it'll be as straightforward as some people think. I think Scotland are going to win, maybe 2 goals. 2 goals to 0.
2 goals to 0. Okay, well let's see. Let's see what.
I was going to say, if I be the turkey every day, do I become the turkey?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it works like that.
No.
I don't know. I'll have to speak to Tinsel's people, whoever they might be. So anyway, let's see what Tinsel thinks of this one.
Turkey had a shake, actually.
I don't think it probably would be. He should have sponsored this. We got some real money then. Anyway, Bernard Matthews is no longer with us. I'm trying to think who might step in. Anyway, you get the idea. Let's hear from Tinsel. What's going to happen in this game, Tinsel? All good points well made.
They were, really.
And going for a massive 3-1 victory. A massive 3-1 victory for Scotland. Yeah,
so
for
whoever
Scotland.
gets nearer, really, between them.
That's right. We're going to have to just get nearest the pin. You know, it's a 2-goal difference, but we'll work out a system.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's all slightly done on the hoof, isn't it, or on the claw?
No, I've been planning this for months.
Yeah. There we are. You get the idea of that. Thank you, Andrew. We might be speaking to you on Monday. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Have a good weekend.
Yeah,
Tinsel had a better line than Andrew.
Andrew's getting bored with it already. So I can understand that. So there we are. That's our predictive animal, Tinsel the turkey. And possibly he'll be back on Monday if he can make it through the weekend. We've got Thanksgiving's a while off yet, and so he should be fine. But he's not going into America just in case. Anyway, we may pop in on the Scotland camp, but apparently, even amongst our team, there's been an outbreak of stomach upset.
That's not good, is it?
Either McTominay gave it to them, or they gave it to McTominay, in which case they're going to be in Steve Clark's bad books. Crookie is in Dallas. Alex Crook, our chief football correspondent, went shopping for a cowboy hat yesterday.
Yes.
We'll find out more about that. We'll have some clips of the week, special clips of the week, some old World Cup classics. And then we're going to look ahead to Canada's opening game. Another co-host, of course, with their own opening ceremony this evening. They take on Bosnia-Herzegovina. That's live on talkSPORT. Adrian Durham, your host, Nigel Adderley, Scott Minto, your commentary team for that one. Stick around at 1 for Jim and Simon, live from New York. We're here, of course, we're Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Locking on back in the UK, of course, and we're right across the lot. We mentioned earlier that Martin O'Neill has been installed at Celtic. Just in the passing, you pleased for him? 1 year deal, Simon?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think Martin, the only person that would have talked him out of that circumstance is Martin. So I think probably Martin would do a 1 with a rolling year.
Yeah.
So that puts him in a situation where you can see how he feels in a year's time. I don't even know why it was a conversation. I don't even know why it was a debate about whether Martin O'Neill should stay in place. I think it's the least they could have offered him. I hope they've remunerated him properly, and I hope that he continues to build on his legacy, because I like him. Now, obviously, I don't know where you sat on it. I think I know where you sat on it. Nobody wanted Celtic to win besides Celtic fans, because we wanted Hearts to win.
Well, that would have been the story, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Celtic story was a great one, too.
Martin did his job.
Yeah.
I mean, he did his job. He went in there and he galvanised Celtic. And so the discussion about whether Martin O'Neill should be given a new contract perplexed me. Besides the fact he kept on telling everyone how bloody knackered he was.
Actually, Brad Friedel is with us, as he will be here in New York. Brad, whatever happened to Wilfred Nancy? Do we know? He came back here with his tail between his legs, having been a major flop in his short time in charge at Celtic.
I'll tell you, it very similar. I came over here and I was the head coach of New England Revolution. I found it very difficult to go from the professionalism of the Premier League this way. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was too stubborn to stay in my own professionalism. I wouldn't adapt to where the level of MLS was.
Steve Nicol was there for a while as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was there with, and then Jay Heaps and then myself.
And Paul Marin as well.
I think what Wilfred did, he adapted to the US culture and he went over there. When you go to a club like Celtic and you hear his first interview, I don't care about the results, it's how we play. No. Results matter, and the fans will actually put up with you playing poorly if you're winning the matches for a certain amount of time. So I think he found that change going to that type of club very, very difficult.
Yeah.
With Martin, I played for Martin for 2 years at Villa. He's the boss. He knows what he's doing. When I first got there, it was the first time I had met him and knew him other than playing against him. He's quirky in how he runs the club, but then there's always a moment when a manager really sets that I'm the boss. And we had a meeting one day and he knew everything that was going around the training ground.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
The so good moment of the day on talkSPORT with Meantime. talkSPORT have teamed up with Meantime to create so good lager for the World Cup. Available now at all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports bars in the UK. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Yes, time now for our look at the so good moment of the day with Meantime. And we have decided the so good moment of the day was that South Korea got that win against Czechia last night. We're not beasted out of it because South Korea had a good few chances. Sonny had a good few chances. Other players did as well.
Should have been 5-0 up before they scored.
But then how did they score? It was a long throw, a header.
Yeah.
The real threat, apart from a couple of late pot shots that the South Korean keeper saved, it was all... I mean, we've watched enough of that last year. I'm not having a pop at Arsenal because my lot did it. We wouldn't have got a win against Everton unless we were just chucking bombs in. So we've had enough of that sort of football, I think. We're all hoping for a World Cup where maybe it spends a bit... That the teams that just are looking to just get set pieces and just bully other teams don't win the tournament or don't get wins. So we salute people that score goals in open play.
Yeah.
Nothing against the Czech Republic. You just don't want to see a lot of that going on.
They'd one disallowed. Same thing, set play.
Yeah, exactly. So there we are. Pure football winning out, he said, hoping for the best. And of course, unless England start doing that, when it's all fair game.
Absolutely.
So that was our so good moment of the day with Meantime. talkSPORT have teamed up with Meantime to create so good lager for the World Cup. Available now at all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports bars in the UK. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
The so good moment of the day on talkSPORT with Meantime. talkSPORT have teamed up with Meantime to create so good lager for the World Cup. Available now at all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports bars in the UK. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
I've been walking these streets so long.
Henrik Stetson is what Andy said earlier on because we were looking for hat-based sports stars. James Milliner, says Stuart from North East Scotland. Bowlers Endon. There's somebody who didn't put their name on it.
Bowlers.
Lots of people with fezzes. Victor Gorka Fez, Fabian Bart Fez, says Chris in Newcastle. Viv Busby, sorry, it should be, is that right? Mitch in Hitchin. Hatan Ibrahimovic, Bill in Manchester. Beanie McCarthy, no name on that one. Emereche Feze, says Rambo the cabbie. And Roger Fedora, just a few we had in.
Oh, yeah.
The reason we asked for hat-based footballers early on is that we were told Alex Crook, our chief football correspondent, went hat shopping, cowboy hat shopping yesterday. Here he is in today's edition of Crookie Does Dallas. Good afternoon, Crookie.
Oh, look at that. A man who can carry off a Stetson.
Look at that. He's off for a line dancing evening. How much did that set you back?
Good afternoon. This is only $100 actually. This was one of the cheaper hats on offer. I think the most expensive was in the $1,000 region, but you did get a nice personalised carry case.
You should get the horse with that as well for $1,000.
Quite stretched.
It's a strange hat.
I tell you what, I'm warm into it. I mean,
I can see what you've done with it
on as
now,
well.
yeah,
So I'm fully ingrained. Yeah, apparently it was covering my face in shadow, so that's why I was wearing it a little bit higher up. The people watching on YouTube might think it's better that my face is covered by shadow. To be honest,
it looks a bit Man from Del Monte as well. I wouldn't wear that with a white suit, which in that heat there and the humidity is probably not a good idea. So are you sensing? Do people think you're American when you wear that? Have people been coming up to you and saying howdy or other cliches?
Not so far, but there are a lot of people in Dallas who wear this kind of hat wear. So I'm not actually standing out as much as I thought I would.
I went to a bar in Dallas once years ago when I was working there, and we got chatting to this guy, and he said, "Do you hunt?" To me and my mate, I said, "Not really, mate. We come from London." And he said, and he was there, and I think he was going to show us his gun any minute, and he said, "For me, if it flies, it dies." That was the phrase I took away from Dallas at the time, which is a bit troubling. But it is. I mean, Texas is a kind of law unto
Especially
itself.
if you're a pilot.
Yeah. You're probably discovering that already. It's an interesting place, Texas, isn't it? It's a bit standalone.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And I've got to say, when it comes to the football, World Cup fever is starting to take hold. It was a slow burner. We went into what's become our local. We've only been here 2 days, but a nice little bar around the corner to watch the Mexico game.
Very
and there were a handful of Mexico fans. We strayed to another specific sports bar last night, and there were a lot of people watching that South Korea game, which was much better in terms of quality. I thought both the teams were better than Mexico and South Africa, and they were invested in that one. When South Korea got their winner, the place erupted.
So tonight, you're going to be watching the USA game. You'll probably be hoping you're going to go to your local or the sports bar, because you probably like to watch the host nation, to watch the USA in action. There'll be a few more people in there.
Yeah, you would have thought so. And I think we'll go to the local. That they've made us very welcome, and the beer is about $2 a pint cheaper. So I'm easily bought. But yeah, I would imagine that the USA fans will be out in force. It's really interesting, though, speaking to the USA supporters, that they're not all over Mauricio Pochettino. I think he needs a decent performance in this opening game, which I do expect them to win. I think Paraguay are decent opponents to kick things off with, but yeah, I think he needs to convince the locals that he really is this top-class manager that they were promised when he was appointed.
It doesn't help flirting with other clubs and being seen to flirt with other clubs while you're doing this job.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to him, it's been stories, but he's never openly said that he was contemplating that. But look, it's a lot of pressure on him.
I think he did say he'd like to go back to Tottenham at one stage, didn't he? Didn't say that publicly?
Kind of, but probably after the World Cup. I mean, I wonder if... apparently I was told by someone who knows him that he's really enjoying life there. He's enjoying it, and I wouldn't rule out, if they have a decent World Cup, what would constitute a decent World Cup for them, that he does maybe stay on.
I think you've got to watch his pattern. His teams do have this certain pattern of starting slowly. Southampton.
Well, you can't do that in a tournament.
Well, his previous games haven't been great.
No.
They've been getting better.
Yeah, they've picked up a bit, haven't they, Crookie?
Yeah, they have, and actually, if there's one tournament where you can start slowly, it probably would be this one, with a lot of the third-place teams going through. But I look at the group. My big tip for the group stage, actually, is that Turkey win that group ahead of the USA. I just think they're a better outfit. I think, in Montella, they've got a really good coach who's got the best out of these young players. So I do think it is actually important that the USA get off to a winning start tonight. As I say, I would expect them to. All the talk over here, actually, is about Christian Pulisic, who you guys remember from Chelsea. Sure. I was going to say remember fondly, but maybe not. But they see him as someone who could be a genuine star of this tournament and potentially even play his way to a big money move back to the Premier League.
Now, there's a domestic...
He was a good player. He just had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, it did knock him for six, didn't it? Just one quick domestic story. Being reported that Brighton have made a £30 million offer to Spurs to Luka Vuskovic, who had a brilliant season, was one of the Bundesliga standout players last year. I think the optics of this, with the ownership, everything that went on last season, would be very poor. I mean, apparently it's a £30 million offer, but I just cannot believe Spurs would sell Vuskovic. They might loan him, but they certainly won't be selling him. Because there is potential, and you don't want to get too much hyperbole, but this could be a generational talent that Tottenham have got, and 30's far too cheap.
It's a big call, isn't it? If you're Tottenham, because obviously they're bringing in reinforcements of their own. I think it's going to be a really busy summer, both in terms of incomings and outgoings. But this is a genuine offer from Brighton. I've not been told if it's been accepted or rejected yet. You would imagine it probably will be turned down. Not too many teams accept the first bid that comes their way. I think the player fancies the move. He fancies going to play for Fabian Herzl, who probably thinks he'll get more game time at Brighton, more of a pathway into the first team than he would at Tottenham. But you're right. I think the Spurs fans want to see him at some point in a Tottenham shirt, playing week in, week out in the Premier League. So I'm intrigued to see how they respond to this offer.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Well, look, keep wearing the hell out of that hat and enjoy the game tonight, Crookie. Thanks for joining us.
Crookie.
I will do. Cheers, guys. Keep up the good work.
It looks good.
There's Alex Crook there over in Dallas, where England will play their first game against Croatia. Luka Vuskovic, who's almost certain to start. I mean, he brings the average age of the Croatian team down by about 60 years because he's 19.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they've got some player. This
they
kid
shouldn't be underestimated. Croatia. They've still got some.
They've
very
got
good players.
Yeah, that's it. We need it. We need it hot, don't we? We need the roof off and no aircon on.
You know, Modric. However old he is, he doesn't rely on that. He's still a great player.
That is going to be a tough old game. Of course, it'll be live on talkSPORT. We're going to pop into the Scotland camp very shortly with Shabana Ahern. We'll have a Clips of the Week special, and we're going to talk a bit of Canada. They get underway this evening as well. So lots to squeeze in before we hand over to Jim and Simon, live from New York, at 1 o'clock.
I thought that the 21 players today were absolutely brilliant. They all played well. The only person I didn't think contributed very much down the right was James. I was very disappointed with him. He didn't really support the winger, and that was a concern, not like the left-hand side, which was absolutely brilliant. But one other point I just want to bring up, we made 11 substitutes. You can't do that in the World Cup, I'm afraid. You know, we're going to have to keep some of the players on, and as long as the back four keep okay, we'll be able to make the other 5 substitutes at the business end.
Yeah, I mean, it's a friendly, and that was used as that. He'd done something.
Just minutes, get the boys minutes under the belt.
They've got
in these conditions.
They've got an hour's football tomorrow. Another friendly. He'll probably change things around. There's a number of players that came on 71 minutes. Have highlighted those. I think today's exercise, or last night's it was, I think it ticked all the boxes, Gemma.
It's put us in a great position. I think we're in the best position to be, finally trying to bring this home. I think the players all look up for it. The cohesion, the style is what we've been crying out for. Yeah. That aggressive front foot, punishing teams. Attacking football because we've got the players to do it, not being afraid of anyone. And I think that's the style we've all been crying for, and we're finally seeing it.
Yeah. Who starts centre half for you, Cole?
Oh, Stones and Gay, without a doubt. I put Concert out on the right, or bring in Spence and put him on the right.
Yeah, not dropping Reece James.
Well, I don't think James contributed very much, but obviously the manager likes him a lot, but he's going to contribute more to the attacking side of it.
Yeah, I think Reece was slightly more reserved.
I think that's just when I said the game was that easy. Yeah. He was just reserved. He was like, do you know what? I don't need to bomb forward. It's hard.
We're told Raul Jimenez's first World Cup goal means he's finally over that near-fatal head injury. Here's Mexican journalist Lalu Lopez.
It was a really big moment for the fans, for himself, because he has been struggling over the past 3 World Cups. He was a substitute. He was very criticized because of that.
There were more red cards than goals as 10-man Mexico beat 9-man South Africa 2-0. Also in Group A, have we seen one of the goals of the tournament already?
Hwang In-beom with the equaliser. It's an audacious finish from inside the penalty area. Pandemonium inside the Czechia penalty box.
The razor-sharp cutback and death lob started Korea Republic's 2-1 comeback win over the Czechs. FIFA's ticketing price model is back in the spotlight, though. They reported a near full house for the game, but huge banks of empty seats were clearly visible. talkSPORT's World Cup commentary continues with co-host Canada versus Bosnia live tonight from 7 p.m. Scotland fans are sweating on news of Scott McTominay. He's got food poisoning and is travelling away from the squad as a precaution. And Kieran Trippier's move to Wolves is now in jeopardy over their sacking of Rob Edwards. Trippier is said to be furious and is exploring his legal position. More at talksport.com.
know we ain't no Argentina, but we control again, and roll forward on the wing, no Scotland, no party.
Well, I'm sure the Tartan Army takeover of Boston is fully underway. Let's cross there now. Our own Shaban Ahern, who's in the Scotland camp, of course, joins us. Hi, Shaban.
Oh, good morning to you, Paul. Good morning, Andy. Yeah, it's 7:30 in the morning here, so the Tartan Army are just coming home from what happened last night. They'll probably get a couple of hours sleep and head back out again. So yeah, I mean, we've just touched down in Boston late on last night. A couple of members of the Tartan Army are here in this hotel. We've just met a couple of lads there from Partick, Craig, Martin, John. I can't remember the other guy's name, no offence to them. But everyone just in brilliant spirits, in really good form. So I cannot wait to pack up, head to open training today, get the press conference done with Steve Clarke, and then getting about it, lads.
Yes. Scotland have got great fans, Shaban. We know that. They've been having a wonderful time. But they are ridiculously over-optimistic, aren't they? I mean, they're really... Watching them this morning, they're all saying, oh, yeah, we're going to win it. And you think, are you? I don't know, but I suppose you've got to believe.
Well, it's the hope that kills you, and yeah, you have to believe. I mean, it's funny because I actually think England will do very well this tournament. I think there's a very good chance England can win this competition this time. And then I speak to a lot of England fans, they go, nah, no way. And I think, but you should be optimistic with this team you've got. I guess where we are optimistic about getting out the group and maybe winning our first game since 1990 is because of this team, because of the togetherness, because of the spirit in camp. And we know what happened in Germany a couple of years ago. Guys, we didn't turn up. We did not turn up. There's something different this time. There's this kind of unapologetically afraid to just go for it. We've seen that over the last couple of games. And yes, they were friendlies. Yes, they were warm-ups. Yes, they don't count. But they did count for us. They did seem to count for Steve Clarke. And I think that's a really positive sign facing Haiti tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, we've just been chatting to Crookie in Dallas in his $100 10-gallon hat.
He looks cute.
You're wearing your
you're
wearing your Tam O'Shanter. Is that your tribute to Supergran?
Well, you know, these aren't like the nicest bits of ginger hair that we've ever seen.
No.
It's a bit straggly, a little bit like should be in another part of the body. You guys use your heads. But we've got the tartan hat on.
Yeah.
I'm doing my bit for the cause. Later on we'll have the Scotland top on before we really go and party. But for now, this'll do.
Yeah, indeed. Just a quick one. Beth Mead's gone to City in the last half hour. I wonder how I'm sure she'll still get a good reception when she comes back to Arsenal. I mean, was this your expectation, Shaban?
Yeah, 100%. Beth wasn't leaving to go to a club in the bottom half of the WSL. Beth Mead is Beth Mead. She's still on form. She hasn't really lost it. I think Arsenal have not done enough to keep her, or should have kept her, because she is Arsenal through and through. They've had her for so many years. She's contributed so much to that team. I would have loved to see her stay at Arsenal, but quite simply enough wasn't coming from them. And actually London City had come in from her last summer, hadn't they? And now I believe that was, you know, I wanted an amount of money that they'd come in with Beth from, but she wanted to stay and fight for her place at Arsenal. She wanted to be there. She was Arsenal through and through. So to see her get a move to Man City, we know her personal life, you know, our partners up at Manchester City as well, Viviana Miedema. So I'm happy for Beth, because it's not been easy for her. She's a good person, you know, she should be looked after, I think. So I'm glad to hear that City have signed her, and I think it's a good move for her, because she's too good to still be heading towards a team in the Championship at the bottom of the WSL, and I'm glad she's staying in the WSL as well.
Shaban, have a great weekend with the Tartan Army. We'll catch up with you Monday, when hopefully you'll have some points in the bag against Haiti. But thanks very much.
Come on, guys. Wish us luck. Let's do it. We'll speak to you Monday. We'll be full of beans. Let's go.
There we are. There's Shaban Ahern in the Scotland camp, and we'll be catching up. You'll hear a lot from her over the weekend. The build-up, that Scotland game live on talkSPORT the early hours of Sunday morning.
Both face the prospect of Mexico in the Azteca, Scotland. That won't be easy for anyone.
It won't be. No, that crowd.
Well, they're that brilliant, but that crowd, you know, and the whole thing.
So it's now time for a Clips of the Week special we're going to bring you.
talkSPORT Clips of the Week.
Now, next week we'll be back to a fresh batch, but we thought we'd kick off our week of these earlier slots with a few We dusted a few off, haven't we, Andy, from the old days?
That's right.
So let's take you back first to a phone-in straight after the controversial 2010 World Cup final in South Africa, of course, refereed by an Englishman, with Jason Cundy in the chair.
7-2-2-3-3-4. Howard Webb, how did he play? How did he do in the referee in the game? And did Spain win the World Cup?
I think they did.
They did. And Howard was brilliant.
Howard played brilliantly. He got marked 9 out of 10. What's next?
Well, also in South Africa, Mark Saggers went on an extended afternoon wine tasting. And we're guessing from this clip, he was swallowing rather than spitting.
Very much swallowing rather than spitting by the sound of this.
I just want to say one other thing. I never knew before today what it meant about vintage and reserve and what was a good year. And they've been inspirational on winemaking here now since the early 70s.
Staying with that World Cup is a geographically confused Alan Brazil.
Right, let's head over to Abu Dhabi. Goodness me, down under South Africa.
Down under South Africa. Abu Dhabi, down under South Africa. Just put that on an envelope and see if it gets there.
And we can't look back on South Africa without this bizarre moment from Mike Parry and Andy Townsend.
Now then, I have a special greeting for our listeners today. It's our last show here from Cape Town. Yes. So I want to say this. En al ons London, talkSPORT leest van die praties Goinyo Mansa in Kapstad Prata. And that means welcome to everybody in London from the beautiful city of Cape Town.
Yeah, not a native Afrikaans
Not
speaker, as
really,
you probably... Yeah, I think they were thrown out of the country at that point. Marched to the airport. Poor old Andy got roped in.
Ridiculous.
What's next?
It's former Drive co-presenter Darren Goff setting up a World Cup competition.
So get texting now to win a copy of the talkSPORT book of World Cup banter and let talkSPORT help you become an instant World Cup expert.
Oh, OK. It's going to be exported to the World Cup. Why don't you give us the next one, Andy?
Ray Parlour now chatting after the tournament.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying. They're playing Brentford today, who may be just a little bit of a downer after the World Cup.
Yeah, they were great, weren't they? The World Cup, Brentford.
Yeah,
Infantino.
you'd expected them to do better, really.
That's
but,
Chelmsford and Brentford at the World Cup. Here's the Moose discussing a football/golf crossover.
Gianfranco Zola, he's a little bit busy right now. I know the former West Ham manager is helping Francesco Molinari at the Ryder Cup. Apparently these two have become really close friends, and Zola has told Molinari the World Cup is very similar to playing in the World Cup.
Yeah, well, you
exactly
can't
the
argue
same,
that.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was a World Cup, very similar to playing in the World Cup.
Big Alan's back, always keen to spread the love when it comes to choosing World Cup hosts.
How are you, Ray, with different countries now? You know, I'm still not sure of this. I like to play a World Cup in Spain, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, bit of a home advantage for them. They don't really need it.
Alan was head of FIFA, and the World Cup will be played in Spain.
Oh,
again.
surprise.
That's right, because Alan wants it there. Here's our old mate Graham Beecroft on World Cup commentary duty, channeling his inner Alan Partridge.
He could have played for 4 countries altogether. Here's Krasic from the right-hand side, clips it back. Zigic with a header down. Great chance. It's there. It's been belted home by Milan Jovanovic, and Serbia, just after Germany have been reduced to 10 men, have taken the lead here. Sensational. He's fallen down the moat.
He's fallen down the moat. Yes. Next up, Andy.
It's Alan Brazil again, shocking us back in the day with this.
Good luck. Here we go. Here's your first penalty. Sir Jordan Henderson. He steps up for England against Colombia in the 2008 World Cup.
I must have missed that one. Sir Jordan Henderson, has he been knighted?
He was knighted in 2008. just after
for
that
services
World Cup.
to the non-existent World Cup. Although the 2008 World Cup we'd actually forgotten about kind of makes sense when Ray Parlour says this.
They've not really thought about this, have they?
By the way, I bet you FIFA are not in
Well,
student
you look at the last what 3 or 4 World Cups, Al, where they've been, how big the countries have been.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
South Wales, Brazil, Russia.
South Wales, yeah. Don't you remember Caerphilly 2008? It was a great World Cup.
I don't remember.
It was brilliant, yeah.
And maybe the final word should go to this talkSPORT caller to Andy and Gabby on breakfast yesterday.
Let's go to Neil, a commentary fan. Morning, Neil.
Morning, Neil.
How are we doing, guys?
We're good, man. We're good. How are you? You excited about it?
No.
Oh,
tremendous.
Thank you. Marvellous. Okay, there we are. Somebody getting right in the mood for the World Cup. So we'll have a fresh batch next week. So if you do hear anything that strikes you as a good clip of the week between now and next Friday, please send it in to us, as always, talksport.com/H&J and text at 8 to 1089. You can tweet to TSH&J, TSHANDJ. Just give us a day and a time when you heard it go out. We'll listen back. And if it's played, you'll get a credit for that. You can listen to the clips of the week again. It's available as a podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, and on the talkSPORT app, which you really should be downloading to flick between all the games and all the World Cup shows. And the H&J Daily with some of the best bits of this afternoon's show will also be available in around 20-30 minutes' time. So, still to come, Canada, one of the other host nations, kick-off tonight against Bosnia-Herzegovina, 8 o'clock kick-off, live on talkSPORT, ahead of their co-host USA getting underway at 2 a.m. tomorrow. Brendan Dunlop, Canadian football expert, will be joining us to give us a flavour of what we can expect and see if there's some excitement building in Canada. We're here, of course, as always, with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
For you, Carl, obviously playing right back, you'd have played against these two guys, and we don't quite know which one will start, and that's Anthony Gordon and Marcus Rashford on that left-hand side. Now, you've played against both. I'm not going to say which one's better, but what differences are there between the two, and what makes both of them as good as they are? Obviously, Rashford being at Barca, Anthony Gordon just got the move to Barcelona. What are the differences between the two?
I think that just says it there. There's not really much with one team signing them both,
and
wanting to take them because they fit the personality that they want to play the game at. I think, listen, they're both extremely quick players, and they both got an eye for goal as well. The main thing is that I feel that in tournaments that I've played in previously to this, there's not been many other goals than Harry Kane, and that's what we need to find. And as having one of them on the pitch, with Bakaya or Noni on the other side, I think they need to bring some goals into it.
The fullback situation. Reece was a little bit more reserved last night than O'Reilly. O'Reilly, we know he's a midfielder that plays left back. He's an 8 that can be a 10. He's incredibly talented. I mean, you'll know all about him, right? Reece, I felt, was a little bit more structured to his game. And maybe that's because of his hamstrings. Maybe they're managing that. I know at Chelsea they've had to manage that because there is some fragility in and around there. How important is that, though, that Nico Riley does that job on that side? Because his link-up play is exceptional. He really is a major talent.
I think you can't take that away from Nico. What he's done at Manchester City and arriving in the box in areas that you don't expect a left-back to get into just shows what he does offensively. But I think Reece James played a very intelligent game last night. From watching it, he managed himself really well. You don't need to peak.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
I was fully expecting not to have said I've not heard that before, but I have heard that before. So it's obviously got some notoriety. We had to ask the kids in the office about some of the names that are going to be appearing at the opening ceremony for Canada later on tonight. Bublé, of course, we knew.
Michael Bublé.
Alanis Morissette, we knew.
Yeah.
But Alessia Cara, we didn't. But we were told by Amelia Beltrao she'd had some hits, and that's one of them. So, another opening ceremony this evening. We look forward to that. And, of course, we look forward to the co-host Canada kicking off against Bosnia-Herzegovina. Let's find out a little bit more about what we can expect from the founder of the Canadian Soccer Daily. It is Brendan Dunlop. Hi, Brendan.
Gentlemen, how are you? It's been a minute. The last time we were speaking, I was with Todd Macklin at the Score, and you had Todd Macklin talking American sports. And now here we are.
Brendan, we are really struggling with your line. We're glitching, so we're going to try and get you back in a few moments' time on a slightly better line, so we can have a chat.
I'm reading about Canada here. Quite an interesting team.
Yeah, and we're going to hear from Jesse Marsh, who Leeds fans will remember, of course, who is the manager of the Canadian team. This is what he said in the build-up to this opening game.
I feel like we're lucky that we've gotten it kind of now where everybody's close to 100%. In all honesty, I wish we had 2 more weeks so that Alfonso would really be back and all our guys would have a little bit more underneath them. But at the same time, man, we are ready to play some games, right? We are ready to play some big games. We are ready to make our country proud, our fans proud. We are ready to go after this. And so, you know, I think the overall combination of me as their coach and the qualities that they have as individual and as a team has come together in such a good way. And I've publicly talked a lot about how much I've needed them, and I think that they've needed me. And we're ready to go on to cap off this 2-year journey in a way that we make ourselves proud and we make this country.
There we are, Jesse Marsh, the coach.
He had a bottle of water in front of him. It could have been a bottle of olive oil. He's got 160 olive trees.
Really?
Yeah, and he makes his own olive oil. But he lives in Pisa. I was thinking, blimey, where do they have that in Canada? But
yeah,
no, they don't.
He lives in Pisa, fair enough. Let's go back to Brendan if we can. Hi, Brendan.
Hey, gentlemen, is this any better? I got so much to say about Canada.
That's great. It was really glitching, so it's great we can hear you. So what's the expectations in Canada for this World Cup? What would constitute a good World Cup, would you say, for Canada?
This is the best Canadian men's national team that there's ever been, and Jesse Marsh has taken them to a whole new level. You know, qualifying for Qatar was unthinkable for Canadian fans of my age before, but they did so, and they showed well, albeit to come away winless. Canada played very well against Belgium, played nice in a stretch there, scored against Croatia, and then played well against Morocco, and then had 2 of those teams, go to the semifinals. This team is better than that, and Jesse Marsh has taken them to a spot where, getting out of the group is by far the expectation now, and I think the round of 16 is within reach potentially. There's a couple of tricky scenarios for Canada to in the round of 32 there, and even a potential of playing the United States in Santa Clara, which would be incredible, and also playing Mexico, which would be a tough task too. I think there's a scenario where even England perhaps lines up with Canada the way the brackets fall, but getting out of the group and getting that first victory in the history of the men's program, that is by far the expectation. I think very much within reach. Maybe today against Bosnia, they've got a very good chance matching up against Bosnia. I do think so, but without Alfonso Davies and a couple injuries to a couple other pieces, they're not fully at 100%. So.
Interesting, March saying that he changed the style of the team because he's got so many players who are really quick. He said, I had 6 players who could run 37k per hour. On this team, we have 9. So that he
changes it.
All energy.
So they are kind of big counter-attacking side. Is that the way they tend to set up, Brendan?
Yeah, they are certainly, and when they're up against opposition that's above them in the world rankings, they're coming in as the 29th ranked team in the world. That they do play that way, and they have all the physical attributes to do that. But Jesse Marsh is really the first manager to employ a gag and press style of play in international play, and it's worked so well because of those pieces. And, most people know Alfonso Davies and Jonathan David at Juventus, who seems to always be linked with some Premier League club, and I would absolutely love to see Jonathan David in the Premier League. But from Tejan Buchanan to fullback Richie Larea, who got a chance at Nottingham Forest in the season they won promotion and then really didn't get a chance in the squad at all and missed out. He's been one of the best fullbacks in Major League Soccer and is a real weapon for them. So Canada do have some pieces throughout, and Jesse Marsch has them playing at an even more elevated style, I think, than he was able to do at Leeds.
Brendan, we're out of time, sadly, but I'm sure we'll catch up with you later in the tournament. Enjoy the game tonight. Let's hope they can get underway with the win, but thanks for joining us.
I would love that. You guys enjoy it too. Speak soon.
Yeah, Brendan Dunlop there, the founder of Canadian Soccer Daily, and that game 8 o'clock this evening here on talkSPORT, kicking off the live football. A massive weekend of live football. Scotland in action, Brazil in action. Lots to look forward to.
Everybody thinks they can make the last 16, don't they?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to go home.
They have. We'll be back on Monday to pour over all of that and start building up to England as well. Until then, have a fantastic weekend and stick around now. It was live from New York. I'm not going to say it's Saturday night. It's Jim White and it's Simon Jordan.
First player up front I've gone for Neymar.
No, mate, honestly.
What do you mean? Don't start. I'm giving Neymar a free roll as well.
Mate, Neymar, the most overrated footballer of his generation. I'm not having it.
Conde, don't.
No, I'm not having it.
Don't,
no,
I'm a big Neymar.
No, he doesn't overrate. He does. The most overrated footballer of his generation.
Oh my God. At Barca.
No, not having him. Not having him. Not having him. No, not having it. Nope. That's the music stopped.
Conde, please,
no,
mate.
No, not Neymar.
Who's a better player?